Well, let's see if what happens when we go live. And we're live, supposedly.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. I just think it's dumb because my stream says that it's not sending enough data when we're sending
Looks
almost. We're sending 3 times as much data to YouTube than what it's recommending. This is the same kind of stuff that I deal with at PDX. It's like I don't know what's going on. It's being dumb. Okay, hey everybody.
Welcome.
Welcome to Saturday, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard, 8:03 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. To the RC Northwest Drift Talk thing that we do every single week. For a while now. We've got me, we've got Logan, we've got the Spleen Machine, and we've got our special guest, Ramez. Actually, Logan, I'll let you do a little bit of the introductions when we get there, but let's go ahead and just take care of the nitty-gritty stuff while we're here. Sound good?
Yep.
Okay, so let's get this thing started. Who do we got in chat? We've got Azza, he was first. We got Judd. We got RC Metro. Ooh, look what we can do. I can do like these little chat pop-up things too. And I think we got feedback from the laptop speakers. We got Ben, we got Brian, we got Mile High, we got Austin, and we got Jake. Jake, nice. I thought you were building a car. Or fixing a car.
Do both at the same time.
Yep, do both. Do all the things. We got Cameron. What's good? Okay, so let's round up with the fun stuff that we always cover. So, round 3. Oh, not round 3. Never mind. We already know that. That's being moved to June 9th, maybe, if not the 16th. Something like that. But calendar events, Tandem Tuesdays. Are you guys done or almost done with your
next Tuesday is the final round. And we have myself in first place. Then Kenny is right behind me by 1 point. And then Spleen Machine over here is 1 point behind Kenny. So
Judd's confirming the 16th of June.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, perfect. All right.
So yeah, it would be nice to have some people show up for this one because it's going to be a little more of a fanfare, I imagine.
We need some people to mess with the rankings.
Yeah, basically, if we get some shooters in and none of us get points, then I win. So I'm cool with that.
Oh, maybe not. Okay, never mind. So what needs to happen is someone needs to remove the stems in Logan's car. Of his tires. Wow, that needed context. Okay, so March 10th, this next coming week, is the final round of our first annual ProTech RC PDX Drift Series presented by A-Main Hobbies.
You.
Same idea. Non-member pricing is $20. Member pricing is $10. Spec tires are DRPs and ASO1s. Please be there on time as we try to want to get through the competition kind of as soon as we can, to be honest. That way we can have a little bit more time to drive afterwards.
That would be ideal.
Usually more fun than trying to get kicked out.
Yep.
Being kicked out.
We have all the homies from Canada coming down again. Ray and Joey and...
Hopefully Afro can come too.
Yeah, that would be cool.
That'll be cool.
I'm not sure who all's coming, but I know some of them are. And also, the track will be open until 9 on Saturday. So it's going to open from 12 to 9 on Saturday.
Okay.
Ooh, nice.
Just so that those guys can get more time to drive with us.
So it is going to be the same layout from Saturday to Sunday, but we won't know where clipping points are, right?
Yeah, so we're gonna. The track is currently still the same as the last comp, so we'll drive Saturday, and then at 9, probably Judd and Jake will. We have some adjustments in mind and some new zones and stuff like that. So we'll try to change it up a little bit, but it's going to be relatively close. We're not doing a full track change or anything like that.
Awesome. Let's just do an oval with an infield.
We did that. It was fun. I enjoyed it. One of the track changes, we ran oval for a little bit, for like 10 minutes. It was fun.
It is.
If I had like a huge drift shop, I would leave an oval open. I think that could be a really fun. It's kind of like dirt racing, right? Or dirt oval, but a little slower.
You just need the right tires.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, moving on. April 12th to the 14th is the Northwest Model and Hobby Expo in Monroe, Washington. And heads up, there was a note that came our way via Lance, and I don't know where it came from, but this is apparently the last expo. Released, saying that they are going on hiatus until further notice. So be there if you can, because we want to make it a good one. That way they want to come back and will want to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a bummer. It'll be my first and only expo, maybe.
I mean, I didn't go last year.
Well, you're part of the problem, Adam.
I'm part of the problem? I don't know. Was it last year? No, I don't even remember. There's so many years. Okay. Import Expo, May 11th, June 8th, Slammed Enough, October 4th, 5th, and 6th is Super G Worlds. Which, Jake, do we know who's actually registered? Like, does the Super G site have that, or does...
Yeah, it does. I think.
Because I know that Jake is basically heading up this whole thing here. The lady who organizes the entire event is retiring, and no one wants to take it over. So until someone steps up, this is the last one. Yeah.
Sounds like a great job for you, Jake.
Dude, that's tough too. Like, I was part of a program. It was called LAFTA, Lebanon Association for the Theater Arts. Our main person moved over to Texas, and basically no one wanted to take her spot because no one wanted to do all of that work. It was just a little bit nonsensical.
Yeah, I think that's just it's kind of the thing with a lot of these organizations. Like, it's a lot of work, and usually someone doing it for nothing. And there aren't a lot of people that are willing to do that. You gotta have the right person.
Hey, look at this. We've got like actual pictures of the track up. Cool. Oh, look at this. Okay. So there is a list of the people who are participating. This is interesting. MK Ultra is the name of Alex Pluckin's team. Get that. Okay.
Yeah, I still haven't signed up yet, so I need to get
I'm not on there yet either, yeah.
You guys, I'm not on there either. Yeah, okay. So just a reminder, it looks like we're already past the minimum of eight minimum participants, right? At least according to this list, so that's good.
Yeah, at least on paper.
Yeah, it's via Joey from the lady that runs the expo. Oh, okay. So we're getting a pretty remote instance of this. Oh, you know what? I'm wondering if it's because I changed the encoder on my PC, and that's why it's being weird. Is it looking okay on the stream, you guys? Let me know.
It looks fine to me, but I do keep dropping off of live every now and then.
Yeah, I doubt that I can change up. Oh, maybe. No, it won't let me. Damn, stop stream. Whatever. Yeah, let me know how it's going, how it's looking, you guys. As well as audio. Let me know how that's going too. Because it feels like honestly, I've forgotten how to do this since we didn't do it last week.
Take 1 week off and it's all
Well,
downhill.
last week was completely random.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get to it. Logan, we have someone here. We've got Ramez
We sure
here.
do.
Can you go ahead and tell us a little bit of everything?
I'll tell you guys what I know. We got Ramez here. So Ramez, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe you're sole proprietor and only employee of our design.
Yep.
Yeah, I wanted to get that across the board because some of the comments you see, on the internet make it sound like our design is much bigger than it is. I think I would, from what I know about Ramez, what we're looking at here is pretty much that's our design right there.
Yeah, there's a few more boxes that you don't see, but like this garage is our design, RC. But
yeah, and yeah, so he's Ramez started kind of, I don't know if he started, but he was doing a lot of stuff on the drag side of things, and has started to dabble a lot more in the drift scene, with recently, and if you've missed this, then you're living under a rock, but recently releasing the MD1 version of the FA1 IsoGrid chassis, and he's a sponsor of mine, and I got a couple of these bad boys right here, and he's a really cool dude, and I'm excited to talk to him tonight.
Sweet. I'm excited to talk to you guys.
Yeah. So why don't we start just with kind of what we do with everybody, Adam, which is just how you got into everything RC and RC drift in particular, and what got you down the path of making parts.
I got into RC like 15 years ago. I've been 15 years ago I got like a Duratrax Vendetta buggy, and that was basically the tiny grain of sand that started the snowball. And then I worked at Hobbytown USA in Concord for 4 years, starting in 2014, and that let me buy stuff at a discount, which really helped get the ball rolling. And then I was going to community college at that time to become an engineer, and I started to just design stuff for my own projects. Like I made a portal kit for a Tamiya MF01X, which is not supposed to be a crawler, but I made it work, and it seemed okay. And then it just kept growing from there. And like summer 2019, some of my friends asked me if I could make some like wheelie bar mounts for drag cars, so I 3D printed some parts for them, and that everyone started asking me, and then I ended up deciding to order them out of aluminum from a manufacturer in China. And then as far as drifting, maybe like a year and a half ago, I bought an RMX 2.0 because some of my friends wanted me to, and and then I've just been casually enjoying it for the last year and a half, 2 years. And very recently I've been very deep down the rabbit hole. I'm still pretty casual as far as my skill level with drift. I don't have a lot of time to practice, but
yeah,
I understand the general aspects of the
very
segment.
very busy doing all sorts of other stuff.
Yeah.
Like taking care of a newborn and designing parts and running the business, and so understandable there.
Yeah.
So what's your local scene like? Where do you drive the most, and who do you drive with?
Well, I was driving at Delta RC, which was a carpet track. I helped out there on the weekends, so that was fun. But we switched it to off-road carpet buggy recently, so we don't have that anymore. So now I go hang out with Josh Remick from East Bay Sliders at the pit stop, and It's like my third time driving on P-Tile, so I'm not the greatest on it, but take some practice.
Actually, so that's interesting. So you went from carpet to P-Tile. So
Yeah.
you went to a loss of traction. How was that for you?
Very tail slidey,
Yeah.
flipping around and all that. It's a lot harder. You have to be very gentle on the throttle. That's what I found, unless the car is set up really well. Like I drove Josh's RMX 2.5, and he's been tuning it on every surface for 3 or 4 years, and it felt like I was driving on carpet. But all of the cars I'd drop down, and they'd be very much of a handful to get around the track. So definitely it's going to take some time to get used to that.
Sure. What else you got, Logan?
So what was the it's hard for me because I've talked to him about some of this stuff before. So what was the kind of transition from, you were doing a lot of drag stuff to then it seems like now you're a little bit more focused on the drifting side of things. So what was the impetus of that?
Drag racing has become very difficult to enter the market. Like, even if you were already in the market, the conditions change so quickly for what people want. So it doesn't make sense to make like general use products. You got to really have like a whole chassis designed from the ground up and be able to iterate very quickly and make changes based on what your team drivers tell you. So it's just too much work for me to it's just I don't have the desire to actually do it. I did a little bit of drag racing myself, but I wasn't like super huge into it. So I was just kind of going with the flow with it. And I've just been enjoying drift much more. It seems much more of a relaxed and chill and less expensive hobby.
Yeah.
Because you blow up a $300 speed control in like quarter of a second on a drag car.
Yep.
No, it's not just the speed control. Your car shatters.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you could have either your car blows up on the line or at the end of the line.
Yeah. Either end. So
Yeah.
then it was just you had some friends in the drift scene as well, and that evolved, or?
Yeah. Josh has been pestering me to make an RMX chassis for basically as long as I've had one. And I just have a bunch of friends around me who enjoy drifting, so I tag along, and it's been fun.
So it is. Can you highlight Sam's comment there? That's totally. I've heard that from a lot of buggy guys too.
Drift RC is the best.
It is. It really is. We're the coolest guys. We did it. We're number one. So you did you end up designing an RMX chassis? Like, was that the first kind of chassis project you worked on?
I designed. Technically, the first chassis I designed was for YD2 and MC1. I can pull up the prototype here. I have. Just because I was designing them at the same time, and I just happened to finish the YD2 one first, so I had that ordered, and then this is the first prototype. It's a much different.
Wow.
I mean, you can see like the general.
Yeah, it's definitely
design language.
Yeah.
So it's you can see like the bones of the modern chassis.
Yeah.
But it's
there.
It's much more
it's definitely
messy
our
and
design.
thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of lines going on.
Yeah. So I had a YD2S, and I put all of the holes.
Yeah.
Even though I didn't need them, so I don't know. And yeah, so that's where it started. This was like a year ago, maybe more.
It's crazy to me how much you've actually done in that amount of time. Just even designing wise, it's a lot. and then you're, handling all the purchasing and customer service stuff at the same time too.
Mhm.
So, can you tell us a little bit more how you went and like made your decisions in terms of from your YD2S chassis to what you've gone through to now for the MD1 and MD2 and the
So this is
other
how
RMX,
the
YD2Z. Yeah,
this is how the YD2 ended up, right? Like,
Yeah, much more refined, simpler. Well, I just thought about what I would do. Like, Josh wanted an adjustable flex chassis. He brought that up, and I was like, oh, I could make that happen. And I just thought about how I would accomplish that. And the first thought I had was I would have to make the chassis thicker so that I could fit that mechanism in. And the first prototype ended up being, it had a shorter flex portion, but the wings are thinner as far as like the support section. And it was just too flexible. I mean, and it like does stuff like that where it, like the adjuster pops out.
yeah.
So I just iterate, and then you end up with a completely different design. Like, this is the RMX prototype that ended up being too short because I measured one of the holes distances wrong because I had my caliper set to measure outside edges of holes.
Yeah.
And then I measured center to center on a hole, and that doesn't work.
No.
But
This is why we make prototypes.
yes, there's a lot of prototypes.
That is a thing though when you're designing a part and you're sitting there, oh my gosh.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
But you're designing a part, and then you get done with it, and you're like, okay, well, I can't think of anything that's wrong. It seems right.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's right. I just gotta send it. You send it, and it's wrong, and it's every
Exactly.
time.
For sure. That's definitely frustrating, but it's part of the process.
Yeah.
And you just have to you just have to budget that into the project, the time and the money, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Well, okay, so when Jake got one of your first prototypes of your MD1 chassis, I was looking at it and I'm like, there is no way that this is going to be like a semi-cheap chassis. Like, we're looking $250, $300, like, because of the quality of the work of what I saw, and yet you're coming in at $200.
And I would say the actual release product is
fantastic.
a lot nicer than not a lot nicer, but it's nicer than the prototype that Jake had.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, it takes a lot of work to get like stuff optimized for cost and production, but so I enjoy doing it, so it doesn't feel like that much work to me.
Now, how big was your think tank of, like, how many different chassis did you send out to people to try to get their reactions and what you need for a designer?
The original MD1, I had 6. So I had 5 prototypes, and then one that was cut with the pockets too shallow. So that's the one I used, and then I got the 5 good prototypes into more experienced hands, and they were tested for probably 5 or 6 months before I put them into production. After I made my changes, some of the changes I made the flanges where the flex adjusters interface thicker, so that there would be more like a more rigid supporting system, and then these outer wings also got a little wider, just to add more, make these less flexible, which allows the flex adjuster to work better, because then this section gets better supported. And then I redesigned the battery system, because that was like just thrown together initially to get it out the door.
Yeah, and I would say of the current batch of chassis that we've seen, the battery containment is kind of like aside obviously from the ISO grid pattern, the battery is the like one of the standout features of this version of it. It's pretty good looking.
Sweet.
Jake saying, I really appreciate being able to test that out from the get-go. It's so cool seeing all the R design chassis at our local track now. How many do we have?
We tried to do the math. I think we might be short, but we counted 12 last night.
Oh wow. Nice.
Wait. Is that 12 running chassis, or is that 12 chassis that have been sent
Not
to
running
Northwest?
yet, but there's I know of 12 that are people from our track. Once they're all running, we're gonna do like a group photo session.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Then Sam, I gotta tell you something, Logan. You look like the guy who I bought my 1-to-1 drift car from.
I wish I had a real drift car to sell. That would be sick.
Okay, sorry. I've got a new toy here, so I'll be a little bit more interactive.
He's
with
spamming
that.
comments.
Kind of. Okay. So, Ramez, what other platforms are we going to be expecting? Ben's asking for a D5 platform because he would.
I have not looked at
Ooh.
a 5 yet. People have asked about RDS, the GRK chassis,
Okay.
and I haven't had anyone ask for a D5 chassis yet, but I'm not sure about how big the market for those would be. So, who knows? If the other chassis go well, maybe we'll see.
Well, I think the
I'm
overall
not
problem
closing the door.
is that the chassis would be what, twice
As much as the car.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Not dumping on a D5. Ben can drive a D5 like no other. But at the same
Yeah.
time, none of his D5s are stock D5s anymore. At least not that I know of.
Yeah, I mean, just
Cameron, Mini.
so like, unfortunately, you can't just throw money out and make everything you want to make, right? Like, there's a reality of when you know, something has to be worth it. It would be fun to have, you know, all of the different chassis possible, but it's not always going to make sense. That's just how it works. You know, it's not.
I'd like to cover like as much of the market as I can, but like there's some corners that you just can't touch.
Yeah.
Realistically.
I mean,
like
right now, like if you do YD2, then you basically have Shark, like almost instantaneously. So those kind of similarities are kind of what make everything really easily and attainable for what this is.
Yeah. So why did you make an MD2?
Okay.
Just kidding.
Because this guy named Logan wouldn't stop bothering me.
I actually bought an MD2 before you asked.
That's
like,
good.
Ooh, this looks nice. And then I made a chassis for it.
It's sick.
Probably not the biggest market, but it's a cool chassis. So.
I think it will be because they changed enough on it that it's like, you know, it's not where we lost a lot of the stuff that was the issue on the first one.
Yeah, like the whole change of the front bulkhead, going from what it was to what it is now. I wish they would still fix the whole steering rack. The whole one nut design is not okay with me.
Yeah.
But the new uppers, or the old uppers that they put on the new steering bulkhead is way better, and there's not as much play in the whole pillow ball system either.
That is one thing I found on the MD1 or MD2 chassis is this. They made like the tolerances in the arms a little too loose on the MD1. So like my rear arms can like wobble pretty.
But would you agree that it's a lot better on the MD2? Because
it does seem like experience. Yeah.
Oh, it's 100% better on the MD2. Like honestly, if I had that experience with my MD1, I would probably still have my MD1. Yeah. But no.
When I was building my MD2 over to the Artisan chassis, I was talking with Ramez that night, and we were making fun of the MD2 battery holder because that thing is insane.
Yeah.
It's
Got to be
very
like 30
confusing.
grams of extra weight for no reason.
Yeah, it's something like I weighed it. You're in the right ballpark, and it's just like how I described it. It's like that guy must have been in a fever dream when he made that. Like, oh, floating battery. It's the best way to do it. It's like, oh no. But I still overall I really like this chassis a lot.
Yeah. It's a cool
Mr.
chassis.
Spleen Machine, you're really quiet over there.
Yeah.
He's recovering still.
He has an MD2. You should be
Yes.
involved in this conversation.
Well, so DJ, you'd like just started driving your MD2 really yesterday, or
Yeah,
Tuesday,
yes.
yesterday.
Yeah. Yesterday was like my first legit day, like driving it to like, with people.
Mm-hmm.
Because on Wednesday I was kind of just get it down and get it kind of tuned up a little bit to make it drive. And that thing was throwing down, like it was keeping up with everyone. I was super stoked on how it turned out. So
Hey, Justin. Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, you're obviously you're still on the stock chassis. You do have an R-Design chassis ready to go, but you wanted to try out the stock one for a bit.
yeah, I mean I already had it built up, so
Yeah.
I didn't even have it, the R-Design chassis in my possession when I was building the kit. So I was just all like, oh well, may as well. You run it for a little bit, get a little bit of run time on the stock deck, and then swap it
I would
over to
say-
the R-Design.
When it came to like driving wise, last night I saw a smile on your face more than I usually do.
Yeah,
You seemed very
I felt like I
happy
was
with the
smiling
car.
the whole night.
And
Yeah.
you were driving very well. I mean, I know you're a good driver, but it was on another level last night. So that was cool to see.
Yeah, it was a lot better to drive that than my other chassis, but I still love it. That'll be the party laps one, but
Yeah.
So
still hangs.
Ramez and DJ both are coming from an RMX, right? Like, so
Yeah.
RMX to MD1, MD2, right? So specifically you guys coming from that chassis, we're not bashing on the MST chassis, but with the experience that you have from the MST RMX going to like the MD1, MD2, what was your experience? Like, how did it feel? How was your what was your experience? We'll leave it to that.
I think the MST is easier to drive out of the box, but there's like a higher roof ceiling for performance on the MD2 for sure. It's just better, I guess. I mean, it is like 2.5 times the price of that RMX, so you'd expect that, but you can make an RMX work very well if you tried.
Oh, 100%. What about you, DJ?
Yeah, I mean, obviously with driving, my MD2 last night, it just felt more planted, to the ground rather than with my RMX. Like it's, it can keep up on the straights, but then on cornering speed, it just kind of loses it, and I have to get it back on the straight.
And
And whatnot.
to be clear to chat, we're not talking about a box stock RMX either. It's like fully as hopped up as RMX gets, basically. Yours.
And as
Yeah,
far as price goes, we could throw in the KMW in there. The $1,100 car? Like,
I need some dimensions off that car if you have one.
If anyone has one.
is there anything that's actually different on it? Like outside of the
It has-
2.5?
It has the narrow front bulkhead support behind between where the servo is and the bulkhead, and I need those 2 holes so I can make sure it fits all the RMX chassis when I go into production. But other than that, it's basically the same. And they also use narrower front A and B blocks.
For the KMW?
Yeah, not sure why, but they use them.
Gotcha.
maybe longer arms,
Yeah,
like create a different roll center.
the stock RMX arms are really long. At least mine
Yeah.
are. On my
Mhm.
VIP. Let's see. Justin, it was smoother and great to qualify, but had no go. Austin, driving with all these MD2s make me want to get one. We know a guy with a chassis conversion. Which actually, speaking of that, when are you going to be doing another batch, Ramez?
For the MD1.
Yeah, and MD2. Oh, MD2 hasn't technically come out yet. So
No.
Yeah. MD1, there will be a handful of the pre-order chassis available in like a month, maybe a month and a half. The ones that weren't claimed or in the original pre-order, after I get like the replacement parts. And then I'm probably gonna have another full release batch, just black, in 3 months, hopefully. I need to get some of the production issues sorted out before I put them into production again. But other than that, I'm hoping to get most of the chassis out in 3 to 4 months. So we'll see what happens.
That's exciting. That's exciting. That's a much shorter kind of prototype phase than the MD1 was, right? Because
Yeah, because I got all of the information from the MD1.
Yeah.
The majority of the chassis are similar. They have similar aspects.
actually realized that I kind of really need you to get the MD2 into production because it's technically not comp legal right now.
Oh, right.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yes, because each chassis has to be readily available for purchase. Well, not readily available, but available for purchase.
Does the short one 10 pieces count? Because I have been I'm not giving them away for free right now, so
Oh, there you go. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you did
technically it is a
some.
production run. Yeah.
Let's see. I was gonna have you kind of go through. Well, I mean, the MD2 is a bit different than some of the other chassis that you did, but can you kind of go through like the main kind of goals and your approach to even designing this thing? Like, let's talk about the what we had talked about when we first got on a call together, which was that your focus is very much so like form from function or form from function kind of deal, right? Like it's I think something that gets missed out on in a lot of the chassis conversions that you see, and just the general design that you see in RC drift. Like, can you touch on that a little bit?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I come from an industrial design, product design background, and I don't like to design things that don't do anything, basically. So I didn't want to. One of my least favorite designs of chassis on the market are like the flame ones, because it's just like for no reason. It's just like for like artsy. I don't know. Anyways,
before you get yourself into too deep of water, I think there is a place for that. But
no.
Okay, well maybe not. Screw it.
Flame chassis are horrible.
I was trying to save him from the water, Adam, but okay, whatever. We'll just jump right in.
They can boil all they want.
Hey, people can have them if they want them, but don't expect me to make one for you.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. Anyways, yeah. So I just come up with my feature sets, and then I try to work those into as minimalistic of a product as I can, basically.
Yeah.
And like with the MD2, I designed it after I had the MD1.
Yes.
Like almost basically finished.
I would call it like an evolution of that, basically.
Yeah. So I just wanted to accomplish the same features as the MD1 chassis with the MD2, and so there were some slight differences I had to make. Like I couldn't do the adjustable wheelbase the same way as the MD2 or MD1 with just slotted holes. So I had to make the chassis into a 2-piece deck, right? So that the flex section could slide, and then the top deck had the slots there.
Yeah. So
But
the main flex, the center section that is the part that allows for flex is actually a separate piece from the rest of the chassis.
yeah, and
for
then
the audience.
so the flex would work. I had to make a floating servo mount,
Yes.
which sits the servo as low as possible to the chassis, but still leaves a little gap so that stuff can move around.
Yeah.
But it's still rigid enough that it's not gonna affect the way stuff drives, right?
Yeah.
What
You
is
know,
the
that's-
overall chassis adjustment?
It's 10 millimeter range, but it's 3 millimeters shorter, 7 millimeters longer, just so that you could. I asked around and found out what like the most popular wheelbases are from some of my friends for bodies, and that's what I tried to accommodate.
So that would put it at what, 264 on the max end? Yeah. 257 plus 7.
256. I think it's 256. Isn't it? The Yokomos are 1 millimeter shorter than standard.
256,
I could be-
257.
Yeah, it's like a
But plus 7 on top of that, right?
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be able to run the Addiction. Is it the Addiction C7 body or C8 body?
Yeah.
It's like 270, like on the
Something
long
like
end.
that. There's two of them. There's two of them now. There's like that really long one, and then there is a more normal one.
Gotcha.
It's a long body.
Yeah, it's really huge.
That seems like counterproductive for like a comp thing, right? That's more of a style
Yeah.
body.
Yeah.
But even
Yeah.
still, like that adjustment already, because like,
Damn.
yeah. Oh, and he froze.
We lost him. The internet
Oh, there-
couldn't
he's
handle.
back,
There he
he's
is. The internet saw the chassis lengthening and it just shit its pants.
Yeah, so
No.
you just loosen these two screws. Can you hear me? Am I freezing?
Yeah,
No,
you're
you're
good.
good. You're fine.
And then the two screws that hold the floating servo mount, and then you can adjust it based on however long you want. And then there's like a little ruler printed onto the chassis there, so you can
Yes.
set your distances.
Yeah. That kind of thing is the fine detail that I appreciate so much. Like you really, when you build this and when you use it, you see that you've put a lot of thought into it. It's very obvious, and like you notice little things here and there where you're like, oh, that's awesome. Now I get it.
Sweet. Yeah, I don't know. I like to be meticulous with detailed stuff. If
Very
I think about it and something that I want to accomplish on a chassis, I'll try to get it in. You know, I'm trying to add adjustable wheelbase to all of the chassis I make.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna try to have to work that out, but we'll see what happens.
I know pretty much. I mean, everyone is gonna want that feature, right? Like, it's very beneficial to have.
I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, if you can adjust your entire chassis just by unscrewing a few screws, versus for the MD1 you have to take out the stupid hinge pins on the outside of the arm and try to move the spacer front or back, or taking off a toe block and moving that forward or back. That's killer. That helps a lot.
One of the things I like that you do on the top decks, we won't be able to see it, but it's a very 3D, like there's a very heavy chamfer on it with the pockets and everything. But then where you have, as you get to the rear, because you might mount a servo there, you milled that whole area flat. So like on some chassis, mounting servos to top decks can be a little, or ESCs to top decks can be a little bit iffy, but you've thought about that and like made it so that we get a much more secure mounting area for that. I think that's really cool. That's one of the things I like.
Ramez,
Mhm.
what is your favorite anodized color for the recent release of your chassis?
I think it's the gold. It like sparkles. Like I don't know why, but it looks really good. I wish I had some gold parts to show you, but I had to ship them all out to customers.
That's fair.
I was like,
No.
oh, I got them. I opened the box and I was like, oh man, those are sparkly, shiny.
Right on.
Yeah.
For the blue, what shade did you base the blue off of, or is it just what you
Funny
thought looked
story.
good?
It was supposed to be like the dark blue from my wheels, but it came out a bit lighter. So I'm still seeing. So with the colors, apparently matching anodizing is very difficult. Even if you have like a sample.
Yeah,
To
it is.
Yeah. So I had the factory purchase a Yokomo red and purple servo so that they had the colors to reference, and they still came out like lighter, kind of pinkish. So that's going to be addressed with the replacement parts. Apparently, you have to order like a tank of anodizing color for them to be able to match it correctly.
Oh, geez.
And so that's what's happening. But yeah, I'll be using those colors on other stuff in the future. For sure. Yeah.
One random thought that came across my mind, because I've had Lance, one of our guys, has done custom chassis too. He's got his Midnight Design branding going on, and sometimes doing the prototyping when we get his chassis, we'd have to clean them up from the milling, and like it'd be all the graphite, all the carbon, all that nasty stuff. Just thinking about how much milling is on your chassis, how did that come across for you?
So the factory mills them with a water bath so that the dust doesn't or a flood, a stream of water that hits the end mill and like pushes all the debris away. So they don't come out very dirty, and then they end up just like washing them off after that. They're good. And they chamfer all the edges so that they're not sharp or anything, which is part of my design. I don't like carbon fiber parts that are like super razor sharp and gonna
Or just
give
pokey.
you splinters if you touch them wrong. Or yeah.
Yeah, I've been eaten by my shark a few times now, unfortunately.
Oh, yeah.
That's like one of my, I think definitely the thing that stands out to me is the machining on the bottom of these, because you don't really ever notice in the pictures, but just the fact that there's actually 3 layers of height on the bottom side. That's so cool. Like, just not something you really see a lot.
It's just to get the weight as low as possible, essentially. Yeah. I just try to shave off anything that wasn't necessary, basically.
It's sick. I mean, it kind of ties into what I was saying, but like you were just trying to save weight, but there's something about that makes it look so cool to me. There's something about seeing what is done. I mean, and this is true, and why is everyone like Pikes Peak cars the most? Like, they're the most ridiculous, insane looking things because they're highly functional at what they do. And then there's something that's just like beautiful about that. It's really cool to see.
Yeah, totally agree. It's it's a balancing act. I do compromise on some stuff to make like, of course, the lines of the chassis work better. Like, yeah. I mean, I could have notched out like all of this and just got rid of it,
right?
But it doesn't look good. So I try to, I make some compromises just to like make sure that it's aesthetically pleasing, because that's important to us and drift guys in general. And you want your stuff to look good. So yeah.
So DJ,
there is a little conversation.
Yeah. When are you gonna have your chassis rebuilt?
Well,
yeah. Which one?
I know we already talked about that.
That's a loaded question.
Yeah. Which one? Because I have 2.
Wait, so we know you have MD2. What else do you have?
He also got RMX. Himself the RMX one, yeah.
Oh, okay. Right on.
Yeah. So, and I'm not too sure when I'm going to do that because I'm taking off on Wednesday to Arizona and I'm bringing one of my cars. So, yeah, I don't know when I'm going to be able to do that.
It sounds like you have 2 days to get one built. I would build the MD2.
Yeah,
It's a quick process, adding my chassis to it.
It really doesn't take long at all.
You know, thinking about that question, as simple as it seems, for some it will take a while.
I guess so.
Like I think when Cameron was doing a chassis swap, instead of just like pulling it off in like modular parts, he was literally taking apart the chassis like completely.
Oh, no. No.
That sounds counterproductive.
Just at least you gotta check all your screw tightnesses, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, most of the cars nowadays, you take off the front, you take off the rear, and off you go. I mean, the front's a little tricky, but pretty easy.
Unless it was the MD1, because the whole front end of the MD1 is modular too.
Yes. Yes. That was also
That's what I like. That's what I like about the MD1. It's that you can pop the whole chassis off and like you could basically drive it without the lower deck if you wanted to.
Right.
If you want a wet noodle.
The invisible chassis.
Yeah.
So you also have basically this body mount set, right? That's in the pipeline, as far as I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should be going into production pretty soon. Just ironing out a few of the kinks.
It'll be hard to show these off. I don't know if you have some handy, but basically,
I can share the CAD.
Yeah.
If you want.
It's yeah. Well, that'll allow us to see it better. And I think like once, as a customer, once you see the female side of it, then you're like, oh yeah, obviously.
All right, let's see. How do I do this?
You could send it to Adam on Facebook.
I need permission to share my screen. I'll just show you the actual CAD model.
Oh. Okay. Hold on. I've never actually done. Well, I don't remember how. Hold on.
Okay.
Technical support. Technical support.
His skills today.
Well, can't you just request it, like from right there? I know the last time that I did this.
Oh,
There we
I'm
go.
sharing. Okay.
There we go.
All right. Can you see this?
Hold on.
Yeah, he's gonna have to sort this out a little bit through OBS.
Yeah, hold tight.
Okay.
Let me. Can we do here? Let's do this. Do that. Studio mode. Let's see. While I'm doing this, if you haven't done so, go ahead and post your pictures in Roast My Rig, because we're going to be doing that later on tonight.
Oh crap! I think I know how to get roasted on.
Everything. So capture. Okay, almost there.
All right, no worries.
So this is the latest iteration. It's not actually the version that I have. This looks even better.
Is there anything important on the screen that they shouldn't see?
No.
No, I've hid most of the stuff that
Then
doesn't need to be
transition.
seen.
Here we go. All right, we are live with that. Although everyone else's windows kind of messed up because of it, but
That's fine.
Okay.
deal with
They
it.
don't need to see us.
All right. Well, this is the magnet system I've designed. The stream's a little delayed. Do I need to wait or just keep going?
Oh, you're good. You're
You're
good.
good. You're fine.
Okay. So, yeah. So I'll show you a section view. You can see
Ooh.
this orange part is what the magnet is. It's a spherical magnet that I designed, and then it's captured onto your mount system by a steel sleeve, and then this cup is what like actually attaches to your body. If you want, you can it has a threaded hole here, so you could drill through the underside out the body and then drill a hole and then actually screw it in for like a really secure mount. But you could just double-sided tape it on like any other magnet system if you want.
Yeah, so I've been running this for a few weeks now, and I have a version that has less surface area on the mounting side, and I did retape the rear of mine one time, but that's only because they're like right on the edge of the deck lid. So I'm not, I don't have all of the tape sticking basically, but I mean, my body only comes off if I go dead sideways into our hairpin like corner wall that we have. Like it doesn't really come off. So, and yeah, mine are just mine are 3M taped directly to the paint, and even the front ones are like on the grill vent there. So it's not even like a great adhesion surface, and those still haven't they haven't budged at all.
Yeah. What was I gonna say?
Sorry.
So, yeah, no problem. My plan is to include, obviously, like the double-sided tape to put it onto the body, but also like a vinyl, C-shaped ring that like tapes onto this flange, so you can like have more surface area to just attach to your body, kind of like what Yokomo did with that Lexan piece on their body mount system, but just less.
For sure.
That'll help. That'll help
Just a sticker.
It'll help protect the edge of the double-sided tape from being exposed from like dirt, because dirt just slowly builds up in the edges there. So if you have tape over it, shouldn't really be an issue. So the changes that you've done on this version are like there's a more surface area on the mounting side, and then you added the
surface.
Yeah, and then you added the flare on the cup.
Yeah.
So this cutout view is really, really cool. As far as the magnet goes, is there actually a sleeve that goes through the center of it to prevent you from like over tightening the magnet to breaking?
This sleeve is slightly longer than the magnet, so the magnet kind of just floats there and just gets retained by this.
Perfect.
Yeah, like my magnets
You're not crushing.
actually, they're kind of loose. Like I can move them around and twist them, so you're not going to crush the magnet.
Yeah, that's super cool to see, because that is a very, very real thing about breaking magnets.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
and they're not the most rigid product or like durable products. So I wanted to take the load off of them. Yeah.
The arm, which it took him, Ramez, pointing it out to me to even realize this, but like the arm, obviously you can rotate it 180 degrees as well. So like right there, you save like, maybe 4 or 5 millimeters of spacers.
I think it's
I'm
7
sure you know the
millimeter.
number. There you go.
It's 7 millimeter rise or 3 millimeter drop. I have them here. I just haven't posted them on the website because I haven't had time. But I'll probably do it this week.
Sick. So yeah, those are cool too. So like, it's like in my case, because I have the TI, like I need a lot of height on the rear, so it saved me a lot of spacers just by being able to rise them, flip them over.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, that's the magnet system. Oh, am I gonna screw up everything again?
Don't worry, we're good. We're fine.
All right.
Everyone at our track is just like hounding me about those things too. It's hilarious. They're just like, when, how, why? I want them now.
Sweet.
They're coming, guys.
Patience. Just be patient.
And I mean, obviously there's other products on the market, right? So you're kind of targeting a price range that is around what the Gorilla mounts are, I assume.
I'm trying to come in a little bit under that.
I mean,
I'm
that's
trying. I don't know. I like to provide a lot of value for my products, so for the money you spend. So
if
don't
you
know.
do that, I mean
We'll see.
that's a killer deal. That's a killer
Yeah.
deal.
Keep on
Plan,
going, you
hopefully.
guys.
So as far as MDs go, you also have it'll be impossible for me to show, but these I can show you my pinion setup, right? So these were kind of, I'll get that to focus here. Give me a sec. Maybe not. Anyhow, the where they had the motor mounted, the pinion was like coming off the end of the rotor shaft, right, of the motor. So you have your spacer, which installs between the motor plate and the transmission, right? Yeah.
Mhm.
Which just makes that so that your pinion can be a lot more like closer to the motor, a lot safer, I would say, as far as putting stress on the motor shaft.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it brings the load in closer to the bearing, which is important.
Very important.
Yeah.
And then go ahead.
Sorry, I did have a product idea I wanted to run by you guys.
Okay, let's hear it.
So all of these drift cars have these like spur gear hubs that have the 4-bolt setup, so you can't use Kimbrough spur gears, and they are available in like 2-tooth increments. So I was thinking I could do like a spur gear hub that had the 3-bolt setup. I don't know, maybe that's a
I'm sure people would buy that. Yeah,
as an option. Yeah. I don't know, like Kimbrough's such a race setup, like more than anything. But they are good spur gears too. So
it seems like there's a lack of gearing options on like the drift side as far as ranges, right? In the 48 pitch, at least. I don't know.
It just depends on where you look.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, myself, I tend to just jump between pinions. So I like my skirts. I my spur gears choice is just based on it fitting well. Because when you start to get bigger, it you have interference issues. So I don't know. I mean, people. I'm not everybody. I think people really like to be able to tune even more. I mean, if Elliot says yes, please, then it's probably a winner.
It's something different and something available. I think that's the super important part.
That would be my input, like as a business decision. Like it's probably, relatively easy for you to design, right? Pretty basic part, not available, and doesn't require a large investment, right? So I would, I mean, I would do it.
All right.
Cool. Do it.
So then, one of the other things we were looking at, this is hilarious, actually. I will pull out the stock ESC tray. So we have this little guy for the MD2. It's minuscule. And then if you compare that, our design does a XL ESC tray. And if you notice, there's actually room to put an ESC on this one. And a couple other things. I don't happen to run anything back there, but side bonus is it makes for a great handle on the rear of the car as well. So that's why I still have it on there. And I had my Blaze kind of mounted back there. Unfortunately, that piece of technology met its end the other night.
The
Might have
Blaze did?
blown up.
Wait,
Yeah,
what?
I might have let the smoke out of my Blaze a little bit.
That means
It
you
was,
plugged in a battery backwards.
I sure did. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Hey, it's
I
a
did
good
that.
opportunity to take it apart and see if there's anything but a capacitor in it.
Yeah, it would be if I didn't throw it away already.
Oh man,
I should have sent it to you. My bad.
it's all good.
Logan blazing it up.
Oh yeah, we blazed it up, all right.
Blazing it up. In
But
more
hey,
ways than
you know, the rad is good, and it didn't blow up the little diode on there, so I'll take that.
It's got to be more than just the diode that's in between the positive and negative leads there. Like, it has to be more than that for reverse polarity protection.
Probably.
I don't know
I wouldn't be
anything.
surprised.
I don't know anywhere near enough about electronics to comment on
Hey,
that.
Ramez, what servo do you run?
Did you post
I've
your
got a
car in
little-
here?
Which car? My MD1 is in there.
Okay.
I just posted recently. Right now I have the SPO3 in the MD1, but I had my CT700 Futaba in it before, but I'm moving that Futaba stuff to the MD2.
Okay, because
So I
we
can-
had Christian come up with this question a while back ago. When you guys have a chance, the difference between CD700, CT700, and CT701. The main
Couldn't tell you.
difference. The main difference between the CT 700 and the 701 is a servo motor difference, and then the CD 700 bumps up the speed and a little bit less torque, I believe.
Yeah, so the CT series, the 701 is just basically a revision, right? Like it's not
Yeah.
like a major update or change. And then for the Ds, yeah, it's a different spec motor.
I think my CT 700 drives better than my 701. And then we'll soon find out.
Yeah, but you're just like a guy, you know?
I mean, okay. And then
Does
we'll
your
soon find
C-
out what the CD 700 will be.
Does your CT700 feel really stiff, like when it's not powered on?
No.
No? Okay, because I don't know. It seems like I remember it being like easier to turn, and then I drove it at Delta like the last time before they closed the drift track, and it seems like it's stiffer to turn than it used to be. But I took it apart, and it looks fine.
I had that, so I had the opposite experience. Like I came from an RSST, which when it's off is relatively hard to turn. So I now have the CD 700, and it's like, I was like, oh no, it's broken. No, that's just how it is. I don't understand that either.
It's the speed gearing. It's less. It takes less torque to turn it.
This that CT 700 is crazy expensive, bruh. They're all expensive. They're all $280.
Fact.
I don't know. I think I bought mine from RC Mart when they were like on sale or something for $180. So I don't know I don't know.
That's a deal.
They're stupid expensive. Yeah.
I mean, like, so it's expensive, but it's not like I've spent more than that in just about every other hobby. I mean, I'm talking about the full price of this as it sits in front of me, even if it was all retail. Like, I've spent way more than that on mountain biking or sim racing or PC gaming.
That's true. I don't know. It feels like for Futaba servos are very, very expensive in general. Like the most expensive ProTech servo I have is the 1K TBL, which is like $180 or $190. That's full retail.
Yeah.
And then you get a Futaba low profile servo, and it's $250 retail.
Yeah.
Like,
it is definitely
what's going on here?
Very large gap between the rest of the market for sure.
How about the CT501? Worth it or better? Just go with the 70. If you're paying that much for a servo, just get the better one. Like, it's, you might as well just do it. And so, with a grain of salt, though, take all of this with a grain of salt, because essentially, what it boils down to is if you're going to buy the servo, make sure that you buy it and that you're going to tune it to your specifications. Don't buy the servo to make it feel like an RSST. Because if you are trying to do that, just go buy an RSST.
If you have an RSST and haven't touched the tuning, there's no reason for you to buy a Futaba servo. I would say, like, it's not the right purpose of what you're trying to achieve. Honestly, like the Futaba servos, if they're not on the right settings, they can be like useless.
Dumb. Absolutely dumb. Like I've driven almost all variants of like servos and gyros, right? I've driven cars that all feel good with their particular setups, right? So SPO3 V4 gyro, right? It works. RSST V4, RSST Revox gyro. It all works when you do the tuning. And then the other week I got to try Justin's KO Propo setup. So his expensive servo, which isn't that expensive anymore because of Futaba, but that and the Dias, like that's an old platform, and yet it still works out so great. Like almost to the point where I want to try to find one and buy it, but no.
I feel KO Propo is one of those. They're like one of those culty kind of companies. Like the people that rock that stuff are very into it. I feel like. Sean. I don't know anything about tuning, but it works. You're doing great. Like your videos on your YouTube channel, which if you haven't subscribed, go subscribe to Sean Lewis Media. Let's grow everybody's channel here. Which actually, I think he has more subscribers than me, so maybe go the other way. Vittorio's killing it, by the way. Like he's almost at 1,000 subscribers already. Yeah, I would like to see a lot more of Charlie in his videos.
I know,
that
right?
would be my recommendation.
It's an Oregon car. It's a Washington car. It's an Oregon. Oh. Thoughts on OMG servos? They work. I think the Predator is
all the
actually
rage back in the 4-wheel drive days.
Oh, great. No, for like 100% serious, and because they were one of the only servos that you could buy that had like an all aluminum casing with them, and they looked rad too. I think that was the first time that I spent like over $100 for a servo. Was an OMG servo. Only make garbage. Okay. So let's go ahead. Well, I don't know. Logan, do you have any other questions? Or Ramez, do you have any other thoughts that you want to put out there?
I think so. I think talked about everything.
Let me think here. Surely there's more I want to ask.
So, okay, well, while you're boiling on that, let's see. What does Christian have to say? I have all Accuvants and Futaba servo is all I need, but I am refusing to pay that much money for the servo. At this point, it feels like that's the thing that's holding me back. Thanks for the response. Yeah, my problem with like the RSST servos is that they're too slow. I would prefer the SPO2 and SPO3 over the RSST, but like I said, I've driven all sorts of setups that feel great. It's just how much time and effort do you want to put into it?
So, I lost my question already. Oh yeah. So obviously you're at the point, and I know this kind of depends, Ramez, on how the next year goes or something like that, right? Like, do you see yourself going any farther than just like a chassis conversion, or?
I mean, I'm not saying no.
Yeah.
I would like to design a full-on chassis from the ground up. It's just a lot of work.
It's a lot of work.
Especially the transmission area, the shocks.
Mhm.
There's a lot of tolerances that are very critical in those areas that are hard to get right on the first time.
Yeah.
So it's just a lot of research and stuff I have to do to get that ball rolling.
So if you could reinvent the wheel, as in one specific part of an RC chassis, like that you could just focus on and make it like spectacular, where would you go with that?
Man, that's a tough question.
I know where I would direct him.
Where would that be, Logan?
Yeah,
direct
front
steering
end,
for the MD2.
Well, I don't know about I don't know anything. I don't even know if direct steering is the best solution to that problem. But yeah, I mean, I would love to see what you would do with the steering setup on an MD2 or a chassis.
Yeah.
I know that obviously front suspension geometry is easily the most complicated like engineering problem because you have so many different things going on at the same time. But yeah, it doesn't seem like anyone has, people are pretty happy with the Sharks obviously, but I think there's still potential out there.
I think there's a lot of love and hate that goes into that steering rack too, because it's so much more than what you think, right? It's like most people when they set it up, they can often have a lot of chatter, just wheel shakes coming from that steering rack, and they don't know what to do with it, right? So that's kind of the overwhelming part of it.
There's a lot of like moving geometry, which makes things difficult, right?
Kinematics.
It's hard to get your mind wrapped around all of the little things.
Oh yeah,
a steering system that moves.
Even I've tried to set it up in a 2D plane in Fusion, like just a simple steering setup, and it's like, oh, brain hurt. And then to add two more dimensions to that, it's just like.
Even if you look at like the MD2 and MD1 racks, they're at an angle.
Yeah.
So they don't just swing on a flat plane; they're at an angle. And that's in reference to angled arms.
Yes.
That move up and down, right? So it's
travel.
It's just like
you can adjust the caster. You can adjust the position of the rack entirely. Yeah, it's crazy. Obviously the challenge of achieving deep angle and maintaining all of these alignment settings as you go through the steering. Oh yeah, it's a nightmare. There's a reason why nobody's really nailed it yet, but
yeah, I got to get ChatGPT to work on it for me.
There you go. Now you're talking.
Figure this out and then give me.
Just make the best steering thing ever. Chat.
Yeah.
I actually use that every day at work. It's pretty handy.
Yeah. There's like a sentence rewriter that I found that's pretty good at like formalizing stuff and making it sound like you really know what you're talking about.
Nice.
It's helpful.
Okay, let's move on then. There's only a few things in Product Watch, which this will be interesting because my OBS is being weird, especially now. But here we go. We're gonna switch it over.
I'm gonna post one thing there too that I saw.
Okay, so these are off of Vertex. These are the new Yokomo arms, I believe. And it's funny because what they are is $68. These are. That's what?
That's a lot of money. It's not. If you look at the MST arms, they're like $100 for 2 arms. It's kind of crazy.
But those are you talking about the active toe ones where they have like all the mechanics that are like an actual ball bearing based arm?
Just the two the 2 aluminum arms.
Okay.
Without that stuff is $100.
Yeah. Okay, so these are interesting, right? Because they're just standard Yokomo arms. They're not adjustable like the old H arms are. But from this picture here, you can see that there's a little attachment that you can put into it. And it's a weight.
It is a weight.
So
Oh wait.
Yeah, so you can add in 5, 10, and 20-gram weights into each arm. I
Huh.
believe.
You changed like your suspension's reaction to bumps. Because that's just like that's unsprung mass.
Yep.
Right? Or yeah.
Yep.
Is it?
I think so. Because it's
I think it's like mostly unsprung.
But here's the kicker. So the arms are what? How much? $68 or something like
Whoa.
that. And then the plates are 52.
Oh my god.
Jeez.
Granted, these are the 20-gram weights, so there's more material in there, right?
That's
yeah,
hilarious.
but that's ridiculous.
Yes.
$52 for 20
So over
grams.
over
Is it 20 grams each?
$100, over $100 for your rear arms.
Is it 20 grams each or 20 grams in total?
By adding additional 5 or 10 grams weight to the base, 20-gram weight. What? I don't know. Someone will have to find out.
Yeah, someone will pay the price.
I'd rather not, but yeah.
I've never seen weights for arms. I've seen like stiffeners, but like that's new.
I mean, we've seen weights for wheels, but on arms, like on the uprights.
Like the hubs.
Mm-hmm. The hubs.
Yeah.
You can buy those wrap-up necks, little screw-on ones that are kind of nifty. 5 and 10 grams go on there really easily. Okay. What else do we got here? Oh, this one was interesting. Going over to the Takahiro blog, a new S15 body. It's an S15 body.
Do you also have the from the same, I think the same blog, is there a mystery like RDX chassis in here?
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I don't think a picture's been released on that yet.
Okay.
Like, you're talking about the blurred out picture, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think it's just a carbon plate.
That's what it looks like.
Someone in chat was mentioning that this was actually a skinny body. 197 front, 193 rear, which kind of, yeah. But it does say +2 or 4, probably, depending on the fender that you use, which would put it back at 197 square.
Mm-hmm.
It looks really nice.
Interesting. It does look nice.
Yeah, and
the
those
close-up.
rear fenders are, well, they look like...
The over fenders are not like super pronounced, at least
Right.
in the rear. Oh, look what else
They
is
just give
in
you,
that
like-
post. The original, they have the, I assume, prototype GR Corollas.
Oh, hold on. That's in this post?
What did
Not
I
in this
do?
post.
Oh, never mind. I must have just got into some weird gallery.
It is coming soon, though.
Yeah.
The GR Corolla is a thing, and it's coming soon.
And so on that note, I also posted a link.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
So there's that. Which,
That's the mold being made.
well, this is from 24K's Facebook group. So looks like they're also working on it.
Now, here's the thing, though. So this body is probably going to be $60 to $80 because it's a 24K body, right?
If not more.
No, like 24K bodies are pretty reasonable, like just for the body. Mind the here, we'll just do this.
I feel like a GR Corolla is going to be like, oh wait, is it a Corolla or a Yaris?
Yeah.
It's a Corolla.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's a Corolla.
Okay. Oh, okay. So I guess it is standard wheelbase. It wouldn't be like a scaled up 10 scale.
Yeah, so they do have the Yaris's out, and they do look ridiculous on a 10 scale, like on a normal
Yeah.
wheelbase. Especially when you're like, put a BRZ next to them, it's like, okay, wait a minute, what happened here?
Yeah.
Well, and you were asking for a friend for full 257 Miata.
Yeah.
That'll look funny next to the other
Yeah.
Miatas.
Yeah, exactly.
It would.
It's always cool to see these these little CNC machine.
That's a big expensive piece of aluminum.
Yeah.
But just think how many forms it's gonna make.
Yeah,
Like sand
make a
pieces
lot.
of. It'll be good.
But so yeah, like with their Yaris, I don't remember the price of the body, but I think if you buy all of their accessories for it, it's like $300 or $400.
That's what I was gonna say. Is that
Yeah.
it's not the Yaris. That's not the body that's expensive. It's all the accessories that you're going to buy because it looks cool.
What's
Yeah,
up?
all of these are like 80 euros. So that's pretty high just for the
see.
bodies. It's only like 86 bucks. I mean, it's not
Yeah.
cheap. Plus, it's like
Plus
Not
shipping.
cheap. What are you talking about? Not cheap. Look at the MST GR86. It started at 60 and now it's what, like one.
Yeah, but
something?
that's everything that comes with all the extra gubbins on it, right?
But it started so cheap. Like the MST E30 body was $90.
It may have been a pricing error.
You think?
Could have been. I mean, was it $60 everywhere?
I think so.
Maybe MST screwed up their press release.
I just
or the
know
primer
that
or whatever.
like almost everyone at PDX has a GR86 MST GR86 now.
Seems to be the case everywhere.
Yeah, they're pretty popular. I don't have one.
Says hot dog Beamer life.
Nobody has one of these bad boys. You.
Okay. So thanks for everyone that's joining the Discord. The Discord is a fun place to see and interact with everybody there. So that's fun.
Does anyone make
And-
a G-Wagon? Sorry. Does anyone make a G-Wagon body?
G-Wagon.
I think the closest thing that you're gonna get to is
Like
the
crawler
R31 Jimny.
Oh, the chimney. Yeah. There is the G-Wagon body for the MF-01X, but it's shorter.
I mean, we have adjustable chassis now.
It's true.
Like, how short are we talking about?
I think it's like, I don't know. I have one.
Yeah.
Second.
He's like, hold on.
Here's my Portal MF-01X. It's pretty
Nice.
short. It's got, you can't see it, 3D printed portal boxes, wide arm suspension,
Nice.
magnet body.
So can you? I didn't even really think about this, but is it a little bit easier to get away with like 3D printed parts and crawling?
Kind of. This is 3D printed nylon, so it's pretty strong.
Mm-hmm.
And I've oriented like everything in a way that when it's printed, the layers aren't like a
Yeah.
weak point.
Yeah.
Here's the body.
Yeah, those are cool.
It's not. It's pretty close. It's far. It's too short.
Yeah, it's yeah.
So I bet
Maybe,
you if you
a
take
mini.
like, so either like a 240 or going further down to 225. So Midnight Mini, or actually speaking of minis, let me scroll up to it.
We have a guy that has the Mark has the Escalade.
So there's
Should make
this.
myself an MD1 mini.
There you go.
Too late. Oh wait, I mean, if you can find the chassis, or if you make one yourself.
Yeah.
So this is interesting. Yeah. So this is a wrap up next thing. This is their VX dock that they have. It's a renewed design for this, which is really cool. But this is for a small wheelbase: 210, 218, 225, 233, and 239. There is a picture of the chassis that you can convert it with, and it's literally just like this whole flat plate that you replace on the other chassis, and that's it. But the interesting thing on this is that the lowers and the uppers on this are both identical.
Oh yeah.
So there's no like toe blocks that you can put on this.
Mm-hmm.
Which on the front is fine. So I thought it was interesting.
It is.
It's a little bit different from their slide rack counterpart from the older VX stocks. But yeah, it's super compact because the servo goes right at the front there.
It's like oriented vertically.
Yep, exactly.
Okay, gotcha. Interesting.
I've had this steering rack before, and it was kind of a pain in the butt. But once you got it, then it worked. Okay, should we go to that thing, Logan?
What thing?
The rig thing?
Yeah.
Also, I'm not trying to be the long stream tonight because I have to work at 6 in the morning tomorrow.
We can keep it reasonable. Where are we at on these bad boys?
So that's the thing.
I
Because I know... Okay, I think we're here. I think it was Jake's dog that we're
Okay,
stealing.
so Jake is disqualified. You can't post a dog and roast my rig.
Sure you can.
No, not fair.
I mean, the dog is actually the focus of this picture, not his chassis.
The dog is an angel and he's perfect. We can move on.
Cute.
Here we go. So this is a ZX that he's building, high motor, with I forget what motor this is, but I think this motor has seen a lot of action from the wrong
Yeah,
places.
I mean, yeah, this is the kind of thing where it's just like random crap from his toolbox, right?
Hey, I have a lot of those chassis. A lot of those chassis. But yeah, exactly what Logan's saying. This is pretty much the leftovers or the spare parts car. Which I'm actually surprised that this receiver still has an antenna. Because that is not par for the course for Jake. He usually rips those out.
Right.
Then here's the top side. If Alex were here, we'd be complaining about the battery strap. All day
Yeah,
long.
I mean that's pretty jank. It's
a little bit jank.
No, is it the color or is it the fact that it's a rubber
It is
band?
the color. It's the color.
It looks like a rubber band he got from an asparagus bundle or something.
Or yep. Mine are from broccoli.
We finally got a guest that's willing to actually roast people. I'm so on board for this.
Okay.
That's not fair to Trey. My bad.
Trey is on the positive side of things, like always.
Yeah, but he
admire
was
that about him.
roasting. He was roasting. It was disguised.
We got a new Slideworks body, I think. Same livery, just different body.
Yep, that was
It's
good.
pretty cool livery.
I don't know if I would do the flowers behind the tribal. I think I would look better with them in front.
Yeah. I'm not a fan of the mismatched wheels.
Me either.
I'm not a fan of the not having a taillight type of thing.
Where's his East Bay Sliders exhaust pipe? His backfire kit.
Hey, so yeah, about that, you need to tell Josh the next time that you see him, he needs to get stock like on his website.
Yeah, he knows.
Like if we're trying to cut out A-Main here.
I'll yell at him right now.
Okay. So, okay, this one's coming from Mile High. And there's a few things that are very not a well, let's see. What's he say? A mashup of a bunch of different companies together to get a pretty solid front end. Can you identify all the brand names?
I'm always gonna lose at this game.
Okay, so one is the
Yup.
Valino Overdose Valino 30 mil tires on the front. I think it feels like
They do
Those
look
are
quite
extra
wide.
wide.
they
Oh,
look
wow.
really wide.
Are they smaller also, or just wider?
I think they're just wider. It could just be the picture perspective too.
Okay.
Okay, so there's that. There's the Rev D HSL knuckles, ASL knuckles.
Well, he's got a Yokomo plastic deck.
With Axon
okay.
shocks. I can't tell what the uppers are, but they're screwed in from the back. They could literally just be like drilled out Yokomo uppers. No, they're not.
Is it just a
They're
shark?
too chunky out there. They're not the shark ones. The shark
Okay.
ones are longer.
don't know.
Oh, it's I think PDS Yusakani parts on this.
Mm,
That would make sense.
yeah.
Are these? They're either Rev D springs. They're probably Rev D springs. Maybe. They're too gold. They could be the
Any-
MST DK springs.
It's Rev D. Like, what are those called? The lower perches or mounts or whatever on the shocks. Those are Rev D as well, aren't they?
Yeah, the shock retainers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think. I mean,
It's a
DDSS.
Servo
It's a Rev D.
what-
Looks like
Yeah.
Rev D Servo.
RSSD.
Is that the stock
Um,
shock tower, or is that like wrap up next or something?
That's the MC1 shock tower.
Oh. Okay.
There's a mystery cable coming off out of the car. Who knows what that's for with Mark?
It's the servo.
I was making a joke, Adam.
I mean, it's pretty clear.
You know, that
actually,
cable's supposed to go to the
bringing
back of the car.
bringing that back, there is a servo video that I watched a while back, and if you opened up the bottom end of the case, you could like flip and make the servo cable go out the other way.
Oh.
I need that in my life.
Oh, hold on. What?
Servo with like a quick disconnect connector on either side would be so sick.
I mean, that would be cool too, right? But this one was just literally flipping, like opening up the case, pushing the wires, like bending the wire so it went the other way, and then you would have the servo cable routing the
Yeah.
other way.
Yeah, if you could, that would be. If you could change.
One of my favorite servos or designs for servos is a Spectrum one that has a receiver built into it. So you only have to plug in your ESC.
That's as bad as the ESC and motor combined thing for crawling.
Well, it's a race. It's like a super high speed receiver. It's like one of the race receivers built into the servo.
Okay.
So it's like meant for off-road buggies or stuff like that.
I mean, I'm kind of about it. Like, it is annoying how many wires we have to have.
It wouldn't work for drift because you don't have a gyro. There's no way to intercept the servo signal.
Right.
But it's pretty cool in off-road buggy or short course. Or
So
whatever.
then the other solution would be a all-in-one servo gyro.
Which exists.
Oh yeah. Why don't you make all-in-one servo, gyro, ESC, and motor?
There you go. Just put them all in one giant box on top of the car.
Sanwa did have their Vortex D with a built-in receiver at one point in time. It was a chunky unit. Like, you would have thought that would have been similar in size, but no, it was way bigger.
Spectrum one was basically the same size as the low-profile servo that didn't have the receiver, which is cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So what do we got from Merc Dirk here?
First
Is that Elliot?
off, yeah. congratulations to Elliot and Harvey and Damien in the formation of their new team, Ghost RC, I believe.
Yeah. RC Ghost.
RC Ghost, Ghosty Boys, Team Ghost,
RC.
Team Ghost RC. That's cool. Elliot had a bit of a tribulation this last couple of weeks. I don't know if y'all talked about it on the last week's podcast, but he found out the hard way about, you know, the thickness of anodizing and what happens when you remove anodizing from certain parts.
Uh-oh. Yeah.
But you know what? Like, if you end up polishing that, congrats and props to you, because all that
It will
polishing
look pretty
time,
cool.
It
it
will look
looks
cool.
great. It's just all that time.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
But I mean, Elliot is, I consider him a friend, obviously, but we are very opposite in our, you know, the things we like about drifting. He's very detail and style oriented, and you know, obviously the way he builds his cars and everything, and I'm more focused on just raw performance. But it is he's taken himself down a very a path that I don't want any part of.
It's fine. It's fine. But check this out. He's got his shocks in line with his body posts.
Mhm.
That's pretty trick.
That
I do like
looks
that.
like a bit of a nightmare to change your tune.
That's if you change your tune.
Yeah, only that's true. But
Oh,
has he driven the car yet?
Speaking of the weights, he's got some weights on his rear arms as well. Like the little screw-in weights here.
Yeah, okay.
Mhm.
Like little ballast weights. Okay.
Mhm.
Interesting.
Yeah, I've done them on. Like, I have some on this car, like on the upright.
Mm. Okay.
Okay, so
So that, like, that I think yeah.
It basically just adds inertia to your hub, so it's harder to unsettle the car, I guess, right?
Yeah,
With a
I
little
think
bump.
my thought was just like, yeah, it adds weight to the tire without necessarily adding weight to the chassis. In that case, yeah, it is like unsprung weight, right?
So, my boy, why are you using shock lower ball ends for this job? I mean, it works. It's fine.
Does it work?
That is
It does.
interesting.
It's fine. And then the other part is the flipped around 45-degree angle toe links, which I've seen this work. It works. It's fine. It works as long as everything is like full range of motion. It's fine.
Why is he using a rear body mount plate, but then using a like scrap piece of aluminum to mount his magnets to?
That is a
Oh, yeah.
path
Seems
that
like-
we
it
will
seems
never
like-
know.
It seems like
Yeah.
those are gonna rotate out of your when you hit something.
It's fine. It's okay.
Yeah. Probably, I would say probably just because the body just wouldn't allow a magnet where the actual posts are, would be my guess. I don't know.
DJ, what are
He
you
does-
doing?
Elliot does a he also usually he does a Velcro method.
Yep.
Where he just uses Velcro so that, you know, you can get that fitment just right every time.
Right, so that's on the body. So on his body, he'll actually put like that part, the magnet that attaches to the body is attached to Velcro. So if there are any micro adjustments that can happen, he can make them without having like a whole fuss of trouble. It's for the deep offsets. Oh, I guess that's another thing. These are, I think, the Overdose 30 mil wheels with a standard 26 millimeter tire on it, which gives you that super stretched look.
Okay.
DJ, what are you doing? People wanna know.
I am actually currently putting together the R Design chassis.
Hey, are you done yet?
Ooh.
No.
If you're not, then
You
you're
got any
doing it wrong.
questions?
Now's the best time to get customer support.
We got mismatching
Just don't ask
shocks.
about the battery hoop. Okay, don't worry about it.
Wait. Okay. Is
that
this
his
is
girlfriend's
this
hairband?
what?
Sorry. Is his girlfriend's hairband like used as a battery strap right now?
Oh right. Is this de-anodized, or is it just two different colors?
I might be wrong. I think this is the de-anodized one. We'll
Well,
have to...
but specifically his shocks,
Oh.
because like the shock
Yeah.
collar is full red, but the shock caps are like kind of orange.
I think he needs to finish de-anodizing them.
You got to commit all the way at this point.
By the way,
Yeah.
this slide rack, I think the MD2, MD1, MD2 should go back to this, because the way that it was adjustable, like for the screws being cammed, made so much more sense. It was so much more easy to adjust.
The MD2 has the cams back, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's still the thin slide rack.
Thin is
Yeah.
not a problem. It's just as long as it
You can.
like
The only thing on the MD2 is that you have to take the shock tower off to adjust it, right?
that's
Do you not? Oh, are all three
Well-
cams? I think isn't only the front one a cam?
They're all cams, but I just have the back two pointing forward. The
okay.
notches
I
on them
see.
pointing forward,
Okay.
and then I just adjust the front one.
That's fine.
Right.
That's
and the
fine
front-
then.
Oh, you can. Okay.
Then my problem comes down to
Yeah.
bearings on the bearings wearing down the steering rack.
Yeah, they should have made like a wheel that goes on the bearing, so that like you don't have
Right.
wear from
Yeah.
the sharp edges touching the
Yeah.
aluminum or something.
Yeah, but then those could wear out too.
But then you could replace them,
Yeah.
and they would probably last longer.
Like if it was like a hard Durlin
Round-
like wrap, yeah.
Like a round surface on a round surface instead of like a square.
Square
on
onto
the
a
round.
flat surface. Yeah.
Even if it was like a part that needs to be replaced, that'd be much better than having a part that wears down on like a $30 slide rack.
Yeah. I mean, I guess. Well, yeah. Once it wears out enough, you just have to get a new one.
Or just
And
run it with a lot of slop.
Probably.
Hey, that's how my
fine.
RMX is.
I feel like this. So I would be interested to hear what you think about this, Ramez. But like all of our steering systems have slop in them, right? Like you can, between
Yeah.
all of the ball connections, there's a good couple of millimeters across the whole steering system in most cars. But I feel
Mhm.
like once it's under tension, like once you're driving, probably doesn't really matter, and probably you only like it switches basically when you transition. There will be that
Mhm.
little millisecond where it's like in the neutral area and then it locks into the other side.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Am I crazy?
Yeah. No, that makes sense. It's hard to get anything with zero slop or tolerance. Even like in a full size car, you're still gonna get like
Dude, I have so much slack in the center of my truck. It's like I hate driving that thing on the freeway, but it is.
And
It's
once
like
you-
if you're going straight, it's a problem, but if you're drifting the whole time, then
yeah, and then once you drive your car one time, it's gonna wear and you're gonna have slop. So I mean, like, there's no real way unless you could make a self-adjusting like tension, just like
yeah, like
it would
like
be way too hard to engineer for something this small.
some kind of turnbuckle that like is elastic some way.
Yeah.
Is this you, Ramez?
Yeah, I just posted some pictures of the prototype chassis. This is the SD or YD. Wait, which one? This is the YD2 on the SD2. This is the SD2.
The
I have
YD2
eight
on the
chas-
SD2 on the.
I have eight chassis, so it's kind of hard to mix around. This is the YD2 and SD2 chassis deck is the same. It's just the top deck that's different.
So what's kind of magical about this deck is that you can technically put a Gulm on this deck too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So there would be 2 holes that are missing, like where is it? So the way that the Gulm is that the transmission block case would actually sit on these 2 rear holes where a bumper would go. And then there's 2 more holes that adapt here, wider than the centers. But honestly, I'm running a Gulm without those 2 on Lance's deck, and it works fine.
Interesting.
And then there's some more holes that are up the way. So it would be these holes that would be questionable, probably, like just in front of the transmission.
All right. I got an RD2 from a friend to measure some holes. For some reason, they decided to move the transmission back 5 millimeters and then mount. Like basically, all of these holes are farther back, except for these 2 front holes. And then they made this like kinked D block so that they could get the arms back in the right spot. So I don't know how I'm gonna accommodate for it, but I guess I have to.
Hold on. Bring that back up. You said the kink B block. Oh no, they did. Oh, they went back to drift package days, man.
So that I mean, that is kind of like that is with that change, like that's kind of a soft end to YD2 as a platform, isn't it? Like, or is it not that big of a deal?
They said that the
Every other hole
YZ,
is the same.
the YD2ZX was supposed to be like the final, right?
Yeah.
And now we're back into RD, SD, and MD.
RD1, SD1, and SD2 all fit the YD2 chassis. So
Cameron, front end of the Gulm is different than the Yokomo? Question mark. Front bulkhead and steering rack mount differently. Yes, 100% they're different. But no one wants that. Okay, no, I can't say that. A lot of people want that front end. I don't like that front end. Yeah, the old or the new. Although I think I've driven Chris's once with the new setup. But yeah, same. It was the same idea.
To what Brown Rose is saying there, I do agree with him. I think the RD2 is pretty sick improvement over the Z and the 1. There's a lot of really good changes on there. I kind of want to get one, just play with it.
Clean car. Yeah.
It's funny to see though, because do you think that there was more inspiration because of the RDX?
Yeah. I mean, obviously they have to take that into account, right?
I mean, there's a lot of it.
as far as the you know, if they're gonna always have 3 tiers of chassis, as far as their lowest tier goes, it's the RDX was obviously the most direct competitor to that setup, so they definitely needed to do something, and the easiest thing to do is to just match.
I feel like they come out with chassis way too often though.
That's probably true.
They have RD1, RD2.
Oh, are we gonna get into this topic right now?
I mean, I'm happy to talk about, because like it seems like it's every few months there's a new version of their chassis available. It's really hard to keep up. Trust me.
Like Yokomo chassis are literally the Apple of the drift community, because it was YD2, YD2 plus, YD2S, YD2S plus, YD2 SX, SX2,
and they don't change very
SX3, YD2 RX, ZX.
So I'm glad they at least have a more coherent naming convention now.
I hate it so much.
It's so much better though than just YD2
but
plus
the names,
random number and letters.
But it's like, it's the rookie drift, the super drift, the master.
Yeah,
drift.
that's just like weird culture in translation differences, right?
Yeah, Japanese culture. It's
I'm
interesting.
like, I'll take RD1 over YD2S any day, because between all of the YD2s, I have no idea which one came later. I mean, you know.
That's true.
We're gonna come to the point where it's like graphics cards, and how they had to cycle around. And
Yeah,
come
that's
back.
fine.
Yeah.
You know, as long as there's some kind of obvious sequence, I'm cool with it.
I'm gonna get the RD 204 in 2030.
Yep. The
Baka,
only thing that's weird to me is the Z and the RD1 are just the same car. That's kind of odd.
I don't like how they still sell their RTRs with the RD1 chassis. If they're gonna release the RD2 and it's like a better overall chassis, why would they still sell the RTRs?
Yeah, they definitely have a weird timing with everything. Like, it seems like they were quick draw on the MD2, I think, because there were some pretty big issues that the market didn't like on the MD1. But I mean, the SD2 was a drastic change over the SD1, I would say. Maybe that's a similar case. The aluminum chassis was a really weird choice, I thought.
Yes.
And
is
then
this?
They
Is this-
backpedaled.
Yes.
This is the RMX chassis.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah, this is the 3 testers I have at pit stop who are running them. It's one of them is Josh's, one of them is my friend Anthony. The red one I think is Anthony. The gold one's Josh, and then the other one is Steve, I think. But they all seem to like them so far. So let's see.
The thing about these MST arms is that you have to manually put those stickers on that say MST.
Oh yeah, not just the arms, all of their aluminum parts that have those stickers.
Yep.
Yeah, it's kind of whack.
I mean, they're already made in China. You might as well just get one more person to stick them on for $1 an hour, right?
I mean, just engrave it, right? Like,
Or that. Yeah.
Oh, so this one in the middle is Josh's
Yes.
because of the reef setup.
Yeah.
Okay, this right here, this is my. Okay, if I were to buy a new receiver for my 7PXR for a 334, it would probably be the non-E version, and I'd go in and remove the antenna. Because more times than not, I come home with this stupid little stubby antenna, like, just missing.
I like the case that has the antenna like built into it.
Yeah. But I don't
This
think
one-
those receivers work on 7PXR.
Yeah.
Or 7X. Yeah.
Huh? Yeah, they do.
The 404s?
Oh, no, not the 404s. I'm not that special.
That's a 10PX exclusive receiver.
I like how many people already have used our design parts to do LTS or high battery mount on the new chassis.
Yeah, it's cool.
Didn't take long at all.
Brown Rose.
This is the RDX chassis.
Ooh.
Wait, what? Why isn't it working? Oh, I know why it's not working. Dang it. Hold on. He's asking about your toe, which I think it's probably just bump steer. Why it looks like you have a lot of toe there.
Oh,
Lens.
I don't think there's just it's basically stock. I mean, they're not adjustable turnbuckles. I think it's the camera perspective.
Yeah,
It's pretty minimal.
that I agree with 100%. Like, when we're watching GoPro videos, like, that's a thing too. Like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Here we go. Here we go. Now it's back. Holy toe. Yeah. He knows. He already knows what's up.
Yeah.
Make that smaller.
A lot of my cars are just chassis right now. I need to get electronics in them so I can actually drive them.
Yeah,
Are-
the one thing I wish for you is that you just had more time to drive, but it is just a busy guy.
Are you at
Yeah,
that
luckily
point
I
where you
have-
just feel bad about buying another set of electronics?
I have some electronics to put on them. I just don't have
Oh,
the
okay.
time to
okay.
either put them in or drive. I have the ESC to put in this car.
Are
It's a
you
rad.
so? When we last spoke, you were like kind of trying to make our design full-time work. Is that still the case? Oh, we lost him again.
Oh. Well, we're looking at his RMX or RDX chassis right now. Judd said that his favorite part of it was the top deck here,
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
which more specifically this rear piece here,
Yeah,
that's impressive.
yeah.
Like it didn't have to be, right? But it is there. It is that intricate. Right on.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, that's a very 3D part. You imagine the piece of aluminum that has to come out of is pretty substantial.
Right. Ramez, if you
How
can't
it
hear
keys
us,
in.
maybe leave the chat and then come back. Or Logan, you want to shoot him a message? What are these? Face? What is this?
Do what?
The front body mounts. They look more substantial than just a piece of metal.
Oh yeah.
Are these
I'm
adjustable?
not sure. I don't know.
I guess
We'll have to
come
ask
back
him when
it.
he comes back. Yeah.
Here, oh, here he comes. And he's back.
There he is.
What happened there?
Yeah.
Hey, so we're looking at the RDX chassis and the front body mounts here. Is there
Yes.
anything special going on with that? Because it looks like there is.
The adjustable body post.
Okay, they are
Is that
adjustable.
what you're talking about? Yeah, that was a prototype. I never ended up making them. They would be just too expensive. They have I can show the car in front of me. They have a separate slide rack or slide piece in them. It has a ruler engraved on
okay.
it too.
Yeah.
But yeah, it would have been like $120 for a front and rear set
And I bet people
Without-
still would have bought them.
without magnets. That's just the aluminum parts.
People
Yeah.
still would have bought them.
People would
This
still
is the
buy
re-
them probably.
This is what the rear ones look like.
Oh, that's cool.
It looks like a lot. That's for sure.
It looks cool. It looks
Yeah.
like
It looks cool.
future spaceship stuff. Right before we lost you, I had asked a question, which was, the last time we spoke on camera, you were kind of trying to make like a full-time art design situation work, because I know you were working, you had a day job, and then you were trying to just do art design only. Is that still going on, or?
I got laid off from my previous role at a Bay Area tech company. So I mean, like that's
Par for the course.
The market conditions aren't very great, but I'd like it to be my full-time thing eventually. That's for sure. But and I am still looking for a job that can give me like health insurance and benefits right now. But
Right.
We'll see what happens.
So, who did your Dragon Ball body?
That's not my body. That's a friend who's testing his RDX. I think it's a Tesla. It's kind of cool. I don't know who it's. His name is Joel Pintor.
Okay.
But yeah,
A lot.
showcase a built chassis. It's pretty cool.
Is this picture at Sheldon's?
I believe so. Yeah.
Nice.
Oh my goodness. Look at that. That looks
Oh,
familiar.
Yeah.
There's residue from all the layouts they've
Yeah.
done.
Yep. We got that.
Yeah.
Not quite that bad, but it's a very. I mean, yeah, their track surface is distinguishable. I would say easily.
Yeah.
And this is the chassis adjustment, the slide adjustment.
Yeah. So this is my
Yeah.
my MD1, which is like fully set up and runs. So this picture is just showing how I hid all the wires underneath or between the two front chassis plates.
Okay.
So the servo wire, the gyro wires go under there and then tuck around the front end, and then come back out the back to the receiver. Just I don't like when there's like a big bundle of wires everywhere.
Yep.
This is like my main chassis.
Also, the universal front bumper on there as well.
Yes.
We're
I don't
not
know, do
doing
you see
very much
anything?
roasting here.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot we were supposed to be roasting.
Gee.
Is there? Do you see much to roast?
Not really, to be honest. I mean, the guy made all of his own chassis. What can you?
I don't know. We'll see.
This unflowed solder mount, sir.
It's flowed. It just I didn't float excessive amount of solder over it, so it's.
I mean,
not,
look. Your negative looks great.
Yeah.
Your positive was just like, we're good.
It's not a cold joint, and that's all that
Look,
matters.
it will get the job done. Okay, it's a lot better than some of the other solder jobs we've seen on here.
Oh, 100%.
Jose.
That's if he's watching. They're all probably playing Car X right now.
And I do see. My secret is no one can roast your solder jobs if they can't see them. So just cover them all up.
Sean is recommending 1-up bullet mounts, bullet plugs. Yeah.
Yeah, I have them on my buggy. They're pretty nice.
I mean, these bad boys.
Those
I got
low
this,
profile
this,
ones.
yeah, this is. I roasted myself on that. I literally roasted my blades because I had to get the stealth ones that are both black. And
You
Okay.
didn't cut your wires so you could only plug the battery in one way.
well, the ESC is right above the battery, so it's like not possible
Oh.
to do that.
Okay.
What I did is I always throw my battery in the same orientation, and then I was in a hurry and did it backwards. And that
The
and
power
then it happened.
couple.
Then it happened. Yeah,
That's
this is.
cute.
I mean, this is just cool that they,
Yeah.
this is Miranda and Cameron. They both come out to the track every Friday, and they're both getting a lot better. Miranda's been making a lot of progress. She's doing pretty good. I would say she's the captain of the team right now. Of as far as power couple goes.
She's missing the Toyota logo on her body.
Oh yeah.
She's just modding more. Debadged, man. The one cut out of his sticker.
R.I.P. Hoonigan.
My only thing about this body is that like it does this weird taper thing on the rear end of it. So like when you try to sit the body flat, like the piece right in front of the rear wheel will hit the ground first. If you follow the body line, you can get rid of that problem though. If you have that problem. Chatter Pud. Wait, where'd he go?
He ran away when he saw we were about to get to his.
Oh geez. So this is DJ's chassis.
This kind of points out
Sorry.
one thing with the R design version, or probably most of the R design chassis actually, is if you want to maintain your ability to adjust the flex in the wheelbase, you do lose like the center of the chassis for mounting like a gyro or a receiver. So you can see like I've got mine just chilling on the side there.
You
Turns
could mount it in front of the servo.
Yeah, you could. On the
If you wanted
MD2,
to.
there's not a lot of room, but some of the other ones for sure. But I honestly, like, I weighed them, and it's still actually heavier on the opposite side, so they're only helping balance it anyways. Just something to consider.
DJ, is your phone about to die? Because you are like wigging out.
Oh yeah, I see that on the stream.
Is on that caveman.
No, my phone's at 63%. I think there's just some other action going on in my house.
Okay.
Mom's watching CSI, guys. Sorry.
Hey, it's important.
We just got a new one too.
So I have to roast DJ for the same thing that I got roasted for when I posted my MD2. Bro, the preload in the back. Oh my god.
But that's
Should blend that
Yokomo's
out.
fault. Like
Yeah,
that
the
is all
springs are way
Yokomo's
too
fault.
soft.
This only proves my point. Like, this is what you have to do with the springs that they give you. I'm sorry. I don't know what else to do.
It's
Like,
fair.
it-
The
it's
springs
still-
are way too soft for the car, especially if you mount everything like your motor and speed control in the back like you're supposed to.
Yeah, exactly. It would be even worse.
Lift up the motor. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
So I bought the Yokomo spring kit and used the stiffest springs they have, and I don't even have a rear ESC, so my preload is like pretty well, it's in check on the rear. In the front, I have like the 4mm Rev D retainers, and
I got
that's
the red Rev D springs on the back of my MD1, and the blue. I think they're blue. No, silver MST springs on the front of mine.
Yeah.
Wait. So on the rear Rev D, which version and generation?
I don't know. They
What
got
color
red,
are they?
Red, and they have
Are
like,
they
the
so?
coil pack
Yeah.
in the middle.
Are they a black coil or is it a gold coil? They look black.
It's like a gunmetal gray.
Gunmetal gray.
It's like a dark.
Are they the super
black.
short ones?
No, they're pretty long. They're like
Okay.
this Yokomo length springs.
So probably Gen 2. Which, that means those red springs are pretty darn stiff.
They're pretty stiff, yeah. It's still pretty soft, but like compared to stock, I was running almost full preload as well.
Hmm.
Now I haven't. So.
So,
DJ, you installed the touring car body mount piece, but you're obviously not using it.
Don't get
Oh,
me
no.
started. I hate how Yokomo decided to include that stupid piece, but then included
And there's
body
nothing for
post
it.
magnets.
Yeah. I
Why?
I don't know. I had to make my own at first before I got yours, obviously.
I don't understand why they did that.
That was
And
pretty
in the
rough.
In the pictures on the chassis on the website, they have the rear ones in the front.
Yeah. There's a lot of things with the chassis and the photos that are not actually what you get. It's kind of annoying.
Yeah.
For my first solution, I like machined little steel pieces to mount there. That worked pretty
Mhm.
well. But yeah, on the pictures for the MD2, they had the front axles were the adjustable ones.
Oh yeah.
And then the same
True.
axles that come on the SD2,
Uh-huh.
they're like the adjustable. I have them now. But then the actual car doesn't come with it. Comes with the normal steel ones that you have to use a hex. I was like, how does the lower end car come with better parts? I've talked about that a million times on this.
It's questionable decision making.
Well, I mean, it was a big thing. Like, the SD 1.0, like, it had the whole aluminum chassis, but everything on top was plastic.
Yeah.
Like, all of it.
The SD 1.0 is very difficult for me to understand. Like, especially once you compare it to the SD2, it's like, what happened?
I have one.
Yeah,
It's
I mean, it's
the
bizarre.
only aluminum parts besides the chassis are the shock towers.
Yeah, which that's like the one you have to do, right? Like, they're like, okay,
Yeah.
if we just do aluminum shock towers, then we're good.
So here we have Judd and his R Design chassis, both his MD1 and his RDX.
Yeah, just finished the RDX today. He actually, obviously, he has a beast mode RDX, but he bought himself a brand new RDX kit and built this version. It'll be interesting. I'm excited to see. So far, I mean, we all kind of know that his beast mode RDX is his favorite car, so I'm excited to see.
All right. Hopefully it gets dethroned then.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
What I will say about the MD1 though, like if you just look at it, and I noticed this with the Golem too, but they look like really, really short chassis when they're not. It's just how the chassis is.
Yeah, because the deck itself is shorter than.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's one of the
Main
best
deck.
looking chassis.
Your
Yeah,
chassis or the the stock chassis?
Just in like the styling in general of the MD1. I
Yeah.
think it looks really good.
I agree.
It definitely looks better than the brick they put on the front of the MD2, but you know, the MD2 works better.
Yeah. Yeah. The MD1 is definitely the car that got me interested in going the route that I ended up going. It just happened that by the time I could do it, the MD2 existed. But yeah, it was definitely I think it still to me is like even in stock form like one of the most attractive ones. I love. Everybody hates the lower control arms front and rear, but I love it. I think it looks cool.
They're pretty cool to me.
This is Jake's new Shark.
This is
Old new Shark.
all I can say. Jake got a hell of a deal for this stuff.
Yep.
Hell of a deal.
Here we go. We've seen these pictures before.
Just Jose's car. No big deal.
Now this is fun. This who posted this?
Sean.
Sean.
He
This
tried to
is-
mount a wing on a Tesla.
That wing seems like the wing is mounted backwards. Is the front edge higher than the back?
So I think this is the
it's just
GT.
because the Tesla, right?
Right. This is the GR86, the spoiler that comes with it. I'm pretty sure of that. So that would make sense. But you know what would make even more sense is the overdose Voltex swing, which is basically this, but it's like actually adjustable.
Yeah.
Like you can actually tilt that
Yeah.
wing.
The issue here is just that there's no flat
Spot.
like
There's no
lid
deck
on the back of this car. So yeah, the fail is thinking that would work in the first place.
It could still, like, if he just
Hopefully,
took like
yeah,
if he flamed it just for a little bit and then held it in place.
Oh yeah, just get a little bend, tweak
just
it.
heat her
You know?
up, dude.
It might be lopsided in the end, but it would work.
Oh, and then there's the completed Judd EX.
Judd EX.
Nice.
Look at that. Look at that receiver wiring.
Yeah, they don't
So-
make it easy.
Yeah. You can mount that top deck either direction if you're interested, by the way.
Oh, that's cool.
If you like the flat top surface or the recessed top surface.
Looks
just a
like
preference thing, basically.
Judd's gonna need a few sets of your body posts.
Yeah, he told me he was interested in this.
Yeah, he's been telling me for months. He's like, as soon as they're available, I'm buying one for every car. Yeah, I would probably prefer the more 3D side, which is that this side? Yeah, right?
Yeah. You gotta show the work, man.
Exactly.
Yeah, this is the 3D side.
And Judd also obviously he's got the breve. The
That,
The bereave.
yeah.
It sounds like someone saying "believe" in a Japanese accent. I don't know.
so that just reminds me. So I have these new wireless video transmitters for like interviewing and stuff like that. So the brand name is Axoon.
Oh,
So speaking of like terrible Chinese,
that's every brand on Amazon anymore is just like random, vaguely English sounding combination of
action, Axoon. Okay, so here's what happened. We started this stream with like maybe 2 pictures in first,
and then it just
and then
goes.
you guys do great. Here we have Josh. Let me get the other window back up here. Here we go. Yeah, that thing.
Oh, Josh posted.
Good to see.
So he's
Good to see.
listening.
Yeah,
Make some more
that's good.
backfire kits, Josh.
Yeah, do
Yeah,
that.
what are you doing?
I need a double exit and a few singles. Did you also design? Is this your top deck? It doesn't look like it.
No, it's
Okay.
not. That's like MST one. I'm gonna work on a top deck for it. It just wasn't necessary to get the testing started,
Gotcha.
so I didn't. Yeah.
So much removed.
Yeah, it looks like it. I think, especially on the MSD, it looks like a skeleton.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh, look, more
Josh,
MSD 86s.
Right.
Yeah. His car drives on rails. I don't know how to describe it, but it like feels like it's glued to the ground. I'm not really sure why, but it's
And
really
it's
nice.
the whole servo gyro setup is so unconventional too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited. Sounds like we have a small group looking to make a trip to NorCal end of May, so we'll get to hang out with Josh and check
Is
out
that when the
Pit Stop
boat's
and-
coming?
No, this is a different one. I can I'll get you keyed in on this one, Adam. But it's like end of May, early June.
Okay. Maybe. I'm just flying through these pictures, you guys.
Yeah. Yeah, it's, it's just how it is sometimes.
All the GR86s. And this is the last one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you have any, can you, Ramez, let's see. You've shown me it was like pit stand / multi-tool kind of thing. And you were worried about the cost of that. I want you to show it to the people.
To the people.
Because I believe this would work well.
This is my collapsible pit stand for like travel. If you open just 2 legs, it's a shock building stand or diff building. The one side has bigger holes for like carpet buggies or dirt buggies, and then the other side has holes for standard tents like touring car shocks. And then you can open it and put it down on a flat surface and use it as a work stand.
Looks like a
Or-
drone.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I found this handy feature, which is I can use it as like a phone stand.
Oh yeah, that's actually good. Like, how
Um,
often do you have like manuals up? You know, when you're working on your car, or
pretty often.
Yep.
So, but you know, it would be
So-
pretty expensive to make, and I'd have to have
yeah,
a lot
but
of.
yeah, but
Well, okay, hold on. What is that made out of? What do
So
you want it to
the
be
top-
made out of?
The two plates are carbon fiber. It's like 5 millimeter thick, and they're machined on both sides.
Okay.
And then the arms are made out of aluminum, and then there's like some brass bushings and some O-rings for the friction system, so they don't just like flop around. And then these pads right now, the prototypes are just like a rubberized cork that I got laser cut from Sencon Said, but they would be like a molded rubber piece for the production ones. They'd probably be like 120 $120 if I
Sold.
did get them, and I'd have to order 500 of them to get that price.
that yeah.
So
Ooh.
it's tough. It's very tough to make a gamble like that, right?
What if you ordered like 50 and they were 200? I really want that so bad.
I don't know.
What if we're talking about different materials though?
Well, I've thought about it. Really, the only way to make it like cheap is to mold it, because it has so many like the problem is these arms are really expensive to make because you have to machine them from multiple sides.
So large, yeah.
And there's 4 of them per stand. So I'd have to like get the arms maybe injection molded or something like that. But then it wouldn't be as cool because it's injection molded instead of a machine. So it's a balancing act, right?
Oh man, I
So-
mean, I would totally buy one. I don't know about anybody else in the chat. Let's get the chat going.
Hold on.
Especially, and I know you, like, I know you could add like a few more features to that.
Yeah. I was thinking about like cutting some slots in the back of here so you could use it as like shock shaft pliers or something. I don't know. There's things to add, but I haven't committed to the product, so I'm not gonna spend all my time on it.
Yeah,
You know?
fair enough.
I mean, that's okay. Let's put it this way.
Yeah, that's the product I was comparing against when I came up with this idea. I can't believe they charge $60 for a puck of aluminum. It's ridiculous.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I
so
was
we're
about to
we're
say.
getting plenty of functionality out of this.
But the problem is Overdose fans will buy anything Overdose makes. So that's the
Facts.
problem.
So
That's a
yeah,
fact.
Sean Lewis raises a good point. Like, what if we did a Kickstarter?
Maybe. I don't know. I would maybe do a pre-order or Kickstarter and see if we reach a threshold where it makes sense to order them, then go through with it. It's
Slap an overdose sticker on it. Here, I'll throw that up there.
Yeah.
He's not wrong.
Unfortunately, they call that highly illegal.
Yeah. Like a license their branding.
But yeah, $60 for a thing, and it doesn't
Which,
do anywhere
honestly,
close
yeah,
as much.
And that doesn't even look like it would work very well as a car stand.
This part. Well, not even the car stand, the tool stand.
Yeah, that would
It
be
looks
annoying
like it
too.
would
Like,
fall over if you pulled one of the tools out at a
Yeah.
slightly wrong angle.
and just like you have to, navigate if you have more than 2 wrenches in it or drivers in it.
Mhm.
What's the? It's where YouTubers send people, to like go become members there, instead of on YouTube and not super chats.
Patreon?
Yeah, do Patreon, because then you like yeah.
I'm not sure I see how that would work.
I mean, I don't
I'm
know.
thinking Kickstarter, like just have an amount that is required to kickstart the project, and if you get enough orders for it, then it goes basically.
Is Kickstarter the platform where if you pay for something, does the creator get the money immediately or only when the threshold is met?
Oh, I'm not sure about that.
Is that Indiegogo or Kickstarter?
I don't know.
Because I don't feel comfortable taking people's money unless I like have the product ready for production, you know?
Right.
That's fair. But what? There's Kickstarter, Indiegogo, GoFundMe. All
Yeah.
of those.
Well, yeah, either way, I would say the point is maybe look more into crowdfunding it.
Yeah.
I want one of those so bad. And I would pay $200 for it. I mean, it's pretty cool.
I appreciate it.
I like the cork too, actually.
Oh yeah. I don't know. I was thinking about maybe including some different thicknesses for the outside ones because my chassis have the recessed outer edges, so the
Right.
middle sits down on them.
Oh
but the
yeah.
outside, you still get a little rocking on them.
Uh-huh.
So there's some quirks to work out.
You had to go and
for
get
sure.
fancy with your machining.
Yeah.
We need air jacks for RC cars.
There we go. Just pull up and hit a button on your receiver and it just jacks it up.
It's like,
That would be
what's
sick.
what's the point of that? Absolutely nothing. It just looks cool.
Does anyone make a Mach 5 body? A speed racer body? I would love to drive that.
I think the only option would probably be like buying a like a
Hard body toy.
Yeah. But yeah.
I am working on a wide body kit for that F40 body that's on Super G because that's my favorite car, and I'm trying to get it to fit a drift car, but they're like 190 width, so it's tough.
So
190 is not that hard to work with. It's just
when you
your
say
time.
you're working on it, what does that entail? Like, how would you make it?
I would 3D print the wide body, and then just like double-sided tape or glue it on or screw it on or something. I haven't fully thought it out. I just started designing like the profiling.
Yeah. That gets into a realm of CAD where you're it's like between CAD and like 3D modeling, like artistic modeling. Like I can design things that are like square and line up and have like I know the endpoints. When you get into like artistic like molding and shape stuff, oh that is so hard for me.
Yeah, it's hard for me too. It's very difficult to visualize. You gotta like basically create a framework of the sketch lines and then project them to intersect. Like you draw the left and right planes and then you project those into like a whole plane. And that creates the curved lines of the body, and it's a whole bunch of finicky.
I've been trying to make like a LTW. If you've seen the E36 LTW has like a very specific wing on the back of it. I've been trying to make one of those for this, and I get basically nowhere in like 4 hours, and then I'm like, well, I have to just start over.
You know, you could just like make one in real life instead of modeling it, so you could 3D print it.
What now?
Just like carve some wood or something.
I see what you're mean.
You
Yeah.
It doesn't, or just like
I'm definitely not that talented.
Make one out of clay and then make a mold for it, and then fill it with carbon fiber. Carbon fiber strands, and just, make a forged carbon fiber part.
I was hopefully I can just find like a 10 scale LTW model.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool too.
Okay, you guys, I had one question, and this is for everybody, really. It came up, I forgot where it came up, or the idea came up. It was either Facebook or Discord. Take your pick. But given the fact that we have so many different ESCs that are out there right now, right? If let's put some restriction on this. If they were the same exact tune, no boost, no turbo, just straight timing or zero timing on the like boost and turbo, but same of everything else, like as far as punch, as far as like startup value and whatnot, would you be able to tell the difference between those ESCs?
Me personally, probably not.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with no.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I agree.
I don't think so either. So let's specify it a little bit more. If we turn this into Zarvis, Rad, and XX, would you be able to tell the difference?
Definitely not.
I have a XX and a Rad, and I can't tell the difference.
But there's a fan port. There's an extra fan port.
There is an extra fan port.
So we've kind of touched on this in the past. I think our perception, or our estimation of our perceptive ability is way worse than any of us like choose to believe. So I hear a lot, like we all feel and say a lot of things, and where it's like, oh yeah, I did this and I felt this, and my opinion is that our ability to do that accurately is like a lot worse than we want to admit that it is. But you know, I'd be interested in someone should make that. One of these YouTubers should make like a blind ESC driving test or a blind motor test and see if anyone's actually good at like, can you actually tell the difference? I mean, even
Yeah.
I don't know.
The
Like,
motor 100% you can tell a difference, right? I think that would be a clear one, but the ESC, I think that would be almost indistinguishable. Now, Brown Rose saying depends on the drive feel megahertz. Right, but we're saying that all things are equivalent here. So, like, if we're locked in... Because the only difference between the Zarvis and the Rad going to the... and the XX, both of those are grouped together, is the locked-in rate of, 25 degrees per millisecond in terms of the boost and turbo ramps, right? They changed that so you can go up to 64, I think. So I think that power delivery difference would make a huge, like, notifiable difference.
Obviously, you have to like standardize as best you can the settings. They're not going to be one-to-one across different brands, but you know, if you can do your best to like get them close to the same settings, and it's just like a guessing game.
I would not be surprised if the Rad and the Jarvis have the same PCB, just with like extra FETs or something on the the Jarvis, and like the extra fan plug, and a different firmware. So
it's all there. It's all there. They just chose not to put it
it's
on.
basically, yeah. I mean, it's just like the typical product scaling.
But here's the
system,
real
right?
kicker, and I think I've said this before. How old is the Zarvis XX? Like, we're looking at quite a few years, right?
Probably. I'm not sure.
Like, I feel like they pulled a Quest 2, like, as far as the Zarvis XX. Like, Quest 2 was released at 90 hertz, or at 70 hertz, and then it bumped up to 90 and now has 120. Like, all within the same hardware. It just needed to be released. They called it experimental for the longest time. But
It's
now they
firmware
just...
change.
Yeah, and they just drop, oh, we can do this with the Zarvis XX. It's just taking that long.
So here's an interesting way to approach this. I'm seeing some good points raised in chats, like kind of what I was saying along the lines of like the settings obviously not lining up across brands or even models. I would be interested, and it would take a lot. Like Judd would have to swallow his pride, I would say, a little bit. I want to do a blind test with Judd because he has just about every ESC out there. Maybe we can even throw in some surprises for him. Take one of his chassis, and then just swap ESCs on it, and have him drive it, and then swap ESC, drive it, swap ESC, drive it. See if he can tell the difference or pinpoint any one of them. That would be interesting. I guess it doesn't even have to be Judd at that point, but I mean, just because he would know his cars the most, like he would even know the settings, like how they're set up. You know, that would be it, like that would be the best case scenario for telling the difference, right? Because he's tuned all of them, so he knows how they feel. You know, in theory.
Yeah, definitely.
That would be, in my head, that's the best case scenario for being able to tell the difference, right?
Yeah, that would be really cool, but a lot of work.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we can, you know, we can
bullet
go to PDX
connectors on
all the
everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, like what I'm saying is, like, if everything was actually locked down, and we have kind of the ability, as long as like a degree is like a degree, right? So I know that Hobby Wing, Akivance, and Rev D, and I think the Yokomos all go by frequency, right? Like we can all set them by 32 kilohertz for the drive frequency and the brake and whatnot. And as far as it goes, it's all in degrees per millisecond. It's unless we go to Sanwa, Sanwa switches it up a lot, and it's really weird. But I think we could at least come close as far as matching numbers.
You'd have to dyno your motor or something with each speed controller to figure out where the actual settings match up. Because I doubt it's going to be this.
Right.
It's going to be the same.
What, you know, what the setting says or what it does in actuality at the, you know. Yeah, that's a good point too.
Well, let's see. The modalizer. I think Hobby Wing makes one. Or no, Sky RC makes one, I think.
Trinity has one.
They're like $400-$500.
Yeah. I bought one because I was planning to create a motor for drag racing, and then I was like,
I was gonna say, of course it was a drag racing thing.
Hold on.
Why would I even think about this?
So you're like, not only are you just like general physical world CAD, it sounds like you're pretty knowledgeable in electronics as well.
Not really. I was just like over my head. I was like, I can. All these guys are doing it.
Just confident. Confident is what it was.
Yeah. I don't know. I'd like to. I mean, like, I know how to solder. I can work on surface mount components if I need to. I know how to work on electronics. It's just not. I don't know, like the physical, the chemistry, and the physics of it, all that stuff. You know.
You haven't yet ventured into that world. I got sucked into keyboards for a little bit, and then I like convinced myself that I was gonna make my own PCB, and that lasted for about 3 days.
Yeah.
I downloaded KeyCAD, and I was like, "No, I'm good."
Yeah, it's very daunting to jump into.
Yeah, it's crazy.
There's a lot of stuff that just doesn't make any sense unless you have someone there to tell you what it does and
electronics is still, it's like witchcraft to me, and I feel like I know a decent amount about it, but it's still just like I don't know. I don't know how this works.
Yeah. But there are so many different China keyboard makers that are out there today, and they all do fine.
Yeah, but nobody made the exact PCB that I wanted. So, and then. That dream,
slightly different layout.
Yeah, just not quite the same layout with the right RGBs and blah 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 blah. Don't need to bore you guys with that.
I mean, we've got keyboard guys in chat. Lance is a keyboard guy.
Yeah, I made one keyboard.
I made 3 keyboards within the span of like a month and a half. But they were all like the D5s of keyboards.
So, if we're gonna talk about keyboards, I'm gonna give you my spiel one time real quick. I was not into keyboards. I kind of thought it was a little goofy. And what's funny is I've come around now to actually I don't really like typing on mechanical keyboards compared to like laptop style keyboards.
Chiclets.
But
Or scissors.
So basically how I got into it, and this was as someone who was like, that's kind of, these guys are weird, is I just saw a set of keycaps and I was like, oh my god, those look so cool. And then it was like, okay, well, I really want those. So what could I put them in? And then I couldn't find anything. And then before you know it, I made a whole custom keyboard just for those caps.
I kind of want to build a keyboard with all just like wacky custom caps, like the D is a duck. That's
Yeah,
like
you mean
on the
like
back or
also
something.
like of the what do they call those? What's that term? And
Custom keycaps.
well, they have the like the caps that are like weird shapes and
Yeah.
what do they call those?
Yeah, I don't know.
Just
I don't know what it
keycaps.
is, but they're super expensive, and I'm not.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna say that's another expensive hobby.
Oh yeah, it's
Yeah.
insane. And yeah, in that hobby, you like buy something and then maybe you'll get it in a year and a half,
Yeah,
or most likely you won't ever get it.
I mean,
Yeah.
now everything is hot swappable. So like, if you're interested, like building your own keyboard is easy and it's cheap too.
It
And
can be. Yeah,
it can be extremely expensive too.
Yeah.
What's your
like-
keycap of choice or key of choice? Key switch.
So the keyboard that I built, it's not operational right now, but it's these are Zelios silent purples, and it's Angry Mal, Glacier, clear keycaps, and then I designed like an acrylic stack case
Oh,
for
sweet.
it, and then it's
That's nice.
it's a KBD 75 PCB. So what I didn't get was this layout with perky RGB, and then also I wanted like underglow RGB, and
Oh, damn.
all of the
nobody
RGB.
made quite that combination, so I didn't quite get what I wanted. But
Sounds like my
that one's pretty
fight
nice.
stick.
I
If you
need
want
to rebuild it because
if you want another expensive hobby, look into like arcade fight sticks. Those can get expensive.
Oh,
Oh my
yeah.
god.
Yeah.
Like I think both of mine, I have 3 of them, but the 2 that are in my office right now, like each of them are like $400 to $500.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Or what for like a total of 15 buttons and a joystick.
Wow.
I get why people, Sean, I get why people like them. They're dope. I've spent extra cash on fancy knives and flashlights during the pandy wandy.
Oh, yeah.
That was the obscure
My-
hobby collection
my
I picked
keyboard-
over the year, right?
Fancy pens and knives.
Yes.
This
Oh,
is
is that what's that guy? Grimsmo?
Grimsmo, yeah.
Oh my god. You got a Grimsmo pen? That's insane, dude.
It's the only Grimsmo product I can get my hands on.
Right? They're just impossible to buy.
Okay,
That's
so
hilarious.
Ramez,
We're like the same person. I'm pretty sure we're the same person, just like a different path.
let's
We just
finish
become best
this up
friends.
here. Ramez, where can we find all of your products, and when can we find your body mounts? Because I'm pretty sure that they will sell out.
My website is rdesignrc.com. I'm on Facebook and Instagram, rdesignrc at rdesignrc. And then the body mounts, 2 months, month and a half, 2 months, hopefully. So I'll blast social media with posts about it when I do release them.
He's very good at that.
Do pre-orders. I know
One
pre-orders will get you.
One more when can we announce the team, the art design team?
Oh yeah, I gotta get that stuff figured out. I want to get it announced pretty soon, hopefully. So
Sick. I'm excited for that.
yeah, for sure. All right.
All right, you guys. It is 10:51. We're cutting this one short because I need to go to bed and then wake up tomorrow morning. But yeah, it's been fun, Ramez. It's good to meet you. I've only heard stories.
I've been talking about like you for so long. It's cool to have everybody get to hear from you and talk to you a little bit.
Yeah, it was great to be on tonight.
Logan's trying to stack up sponsorships. And how. But yeah, okay, you guys. So next week, who do we have next week? We've got Albert. Albert will be on next week. So we'll poke him and we'll do some talking with him.
My teammate. I'm excited to formally meet him. I mean, obviously we've talked over Instagram and stuff, but that's gonna be cool.
Yeah, it'll be fun. DJ, you surviving?
Yeah, I'm surviving.
Hey, at least he got that D2 built.
I'm working on getting the RMX one put together.
If anyone is interested, we are interested in making spleen machine stickers. Let us know if that would be something you'd be interested in as well.
Yeah, I will pay for that.
That's funny.
Yeah. All right, you guys. Thanks for coming. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be on next week, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. You guys stay safe, and we will end the stream later.
All right. Good night.